Chapter 1. The words of the blessing of Enoch. The words of the blessing of Enoch, with which he blessed the chosen and righteous who will be living in the days of tribulation, when all the wicked and godless are to be removed. Enoch, a righteous man, whose eyes were opened by God, spoke his vision, and said, I saw the vision of the Holy One in the heavens, which the angels showed me. From them I heard everything, and from them I understood as I saw, but not for this generation, for a distant one yet to come. Concerning the chosen I said and spoke this vision about them. The Holy Great One will come forth from his dwelling, and the eternal God will walk upon the earth, even on Mount Sinai. He will appear in the strength of his might from the heaven of heavens. All shall be struck with fear, and the watchers will quake. Great fear and trembling will seize them to the ends of the earth. The high mountains will be shaken, the high hills will be made low, they will melt like wax before the flame. The earth will be torn apart, and all that is on it will perish, and there will be a judgment upon all. But with the righteous he will make peace. He will protect the chosen, his mercy will be upon them. They will all belong to God, they will prosper, they will be blessed. He will help them, light will appear to them, and he will make peace with them. Behold, he comes with tens of thousands of his holy ones, to execute judgment upon all, to destroy the ungodly, to convict all flesh of the works of their ungodliness which they have committed, and of all the harsh things which ungodly sinners have spoken against him. Chapter 2. The Creation. Observe everything that takes place in the heavens, how they do not change their orbits, and the lights of the sky, how they rise and set in order, each in its season, never breaking the order appointed to them. Look at the earth and pay attention to what happens upon it from beginning to end, how steady it is, how nothing on earth changes, but all the works of God are clear to you. Look at summer and winter, how the whole earth is filled with water, with clouds and dew and rain lying upon it. See how in winter all the trees seem withered and shed their leaves, except for 14 trees, which never lose their foliage, but retain it for 2 or 3 years until the new leaves come. Again, observe the days of summer, how the sun is above the earth, and you seek shade and shelter because of its heat. The earth burns with growing heat, and you cannot walk upon it or on a rock because of its burning. See how the trees cover themselves with green leaves and bear fruit. Therefore give heed and understand regarding all his works, and recognize how he who lives forever has made them so. All his works continue from year to year forever, and all their duties are carried out for him, and none of their tasks change as God has ordained. So it is done. See how the sea and the rivers also carry out their work, never breaking his command. But you have not been steadfast, nor kept the commandments of the Lord. You have turned away and spoken proud and harsh words with impure mouths against his greatness. Hard-hearted, you will find no peace. Therefore you will curse your days, and the years of your life will perish. The years of your destruction will multiply in eternal shame, and you will find no mercy. In those days your names will be a curse forever to all the righteous. By you shall all who curse, curse. Sinners and the godless will use your names for their curses, and for you, the godless, there will be nothing but curse. But the righteous will rejoice. There will be forgiveness of sins, mercy, peace, and patience. Salvation will come to them, a good and lasting light. For all sinners there will be no salvation, only the curse of the beast. But for the chosen there will be light, joy, and peace, and they will inherit the earth. Then wisdom will be given to the chosen. They will all live, and never again sin through ungodliness or pride. The wise will be humble. They will not again transgress, nor sin all the days of their life. They will not die in anger or wrath, but will complete the number of their days. Their lives will be filled with peace, their years multiplied in eternal gladness and peace all the days of their life. Chapter 3. The Fallen Angels. When men had multiplied, daughters were born to them who were beautiful and attractive. The angels, the children of heaven, saw them and desired them. They said to one another, "Come, let us choose wives from among the children of men, and have children with them." Semjaza, who was their leader, said, "I fear you will not agree to do this, and I alone will have to pay the penalty of this great sin." But they all answered him, "Let us swear an oath, and bind ourselves together not to abandon this plan, but to carry it out." So they all swore together and bound themselves to it. They were 200 in all, who descended in the days of Jared on the summit of Mount Hermon. They called it Mount Hermon, because they had sworn and bound themselves there. These are the names of their leaders: Samlazaz, their leader, Arachelba, Ramil, Kokablel, Tamlel, Ramlel, Danel, Ezekiel, Barakijal, Asael, Armaros, Batarel, Ananel, Zaklel, Samsapil, Satarel, Turel, Jomjael, Sariel. These were chiefs of tens. The others with them also took wives, each choosing one for himself. They began to defile themselves with them. They taught them charms, enchantments, the cutting of roots, and made them familiar with plants. The women became pregnant and gave birth to giants who consumed everything men had. When men could no longer sustain them, the giants turned against men and devoured them. They sinned against birds, beasts, reptiles, and fish, and devoured one another's flesh and drank the blood. Then the earth laid accusation against the lawless ones. Azazel taught men to make swords, knives, shields, breastplates, and made known the metals of the earth and how to work them, as well as bracelets, ornaments, antimony, the beautifying of eyelids, all kinds of costly stones, and colouring tinctures. Much godlessness arose, and they committed fornication, strayed, and became corrupt in all their ways. Semjaza taught enchantments and root-cuttings. Amaros taught how to break enchantments, Barakijal taught astrology, Kokabel the constellations, Ezekiel the knowledge of the clouds, Arakiel the signs of the earth, Shamziel the signs of the sun, and Sariel the course of the moon. As men perished, they cried out, and their cry went up to heaven. Chapter 4. The Intercession of the Angels. Then Michael, Uriel, Raphael, and Gabriel looked down from heaven and saw the blood being shed on the earth, and the lawlessness taking place. They said to one another, "The earth, made without inhabitants, cries out with the voices of those being killed. Their cries go up to the gates of heaven." Now to you, the holy ones of heaven, the souls of men are bringing their case, saying, "Bring our cause before the Most High." They said to the Lord of the ages, "Lord of lords, God of gods, King of kings, and God of the ages, your glorious throne stands for all generations, and your name is holy and glorious and blessed forever. You have made all things and have authority over all. Nothing is hidden from you. You see all things. You see what Azazel has done. He has taught all unrighteousness on the earth and revealed the eternal secrets that were kept in heaven, which men were striving to learn. And Semjaza, to whom you gave authority to lead his associates, has also gone to the daughters of men, slept with them, defiled himself, and revealed all kinds of sins. The women have given birth to giants, and the entire earth has been filled with blood and lawlessness. Now the souls of those who have died are crying out and making their plea to the gates of heaven, and their lamentations have gone up and cannot stop because of the lawless acts being committed. You knew all these things before they happened, and you still allow them. You haven't told us what to do to them. Then the Most High, the Holy and Great One, spoke and sent Uriel to the son of Lamech, and said, "Go to Noah and tell him in my name, hide yourself, and reveal to him that the end is coming, that the whole earth will be destroyed, and a flood will come to cover everything. Instruct him so that he can be saved, and his family preserved for all generations." The Lord also said to Raphael, "Bind Azazel hand and foot, and throw him into the darkness. Make a hole in the desert of Dudael, and throw him into it. Cover him with jagged rocks, and wrap him in darkness. Let him stay there forever, and cover his face so he cannot see the light. On the day of the great judgment he will be thrown into the fire. Heal the earth that the angels have corrupted. Announce the healing of the earth, so that all men may be saved and not perish because of the secrets that the watchers taught to their sons. The whole earth has been corrupted by Azazel's teachings. Assign all sin to him." To Gabriel the Lord said, "Go against the illegitimate children and sinners, and destroy the children of the watchers from among men. Let them fight and kill each other, for they will not live long. Don't listen to any requests they or their fathers make. They hope to live forever, each of them for 500 years. Then the Lord said to Michael, "Bind Semjaza and the others who united with women and defiled themselves. After their sons are killed and they witness their destruction, bind them for 70 generations in the valleys of the earth until the day of their judgment, when it will be complete and eternal. On that day they will be led into the abyss of fire and into torment. They will be imprisoned forever. Whoever is condemned and destroyed will be bound with them until the end of all generations. Destroy all the spirits of the rebellious and the children of the watchers, because they've harmed mankind. Wipe away all evil from the earth, and let righteousness and truth grow. It will be a blessing. The works of righteousness and truth will be planted forever in joy. Then all the righteous will escape and live until they have many children. They will grow old in peace. The whole earth will be cultivated in righteousness and filled with trees and blessings. All kinds of desirable trees will be planted, and grapevines will yield wine in abundance. Every seed sown will grow 1,000-fold, and each measure of olives will produce 10 presses of oil. Cleanse the earth from all violence, unrighteousness, sin, and godlessness. Remove all impurity from the earth. Then all people will become righteous. All nations will worship and praise me. The earth will be free from all defilement, sin, judgment, and torment. I will never again send anything like this upon it, from generation to generation forever. In those days I will open the storehouses of blessing in heaven and pour them out upon the earth over the work and labour of mankind. Truth and peace will come together for all the days of the world and for all generations. Chapter 5. The Book of the Words of Righteousness. This is the book of the words of righteousness, and the rebuke of the eternal watchers, according to the command of the Holy Great One, in the vision I saw during my sleep. What I say now, I speak with the tongue of flesh and the breath God gave man, so we could speak and understand with our hearts. Just as he gave understanding and wisdom to men, he gave me the power to rebuke the watchers, the children of heaven. I wrote out your petition, and in my vision I saw clearly. Your petition will not be granted throughout all eternity. Judgment has been passed on you. From now on you will not ascend into heaven ever again, and you will be bound to the earth, imprisoned forever. Before that you will see the destruction of your beloved sons, and have no joy in them. They will fall by the sword before your eyes. Even if you cry, pray, and recite every word I wrote on your behalf, your request will not be granted. And then the vision was shown to me like this. I saw clouds inviting me, mist calling to me, the movement of stars and lightning urging me forward. The winds lifted me and carried me into heaven. I came close to a wall made of crystal, surrounded by tongues of fire. It terrified me. I entered the flames and approached a great house built of crystal. Its walls were like tiled floors made of crystal. Its foundation was crystal too. Its ceiling was like the stars and lightning, and between them were fiery cherubim. Above them was a watery sky. Fire blazed around the walls, and its gates flashed with flames. I entered the house, and it was as hot as fire and as cold as ice. There was no life inside. Fear overwhelmed me, and I trembled. As I trembled and fell on my face, I saw another house. It was greater than the first and completely open before me. It was built of fire. Its splendour and size were beyond words. The floor was fire. Above it, lightning and the path of stars burned. The ceiling was also on fire. I looked and saw a high throne. It looked like crystal, with wheels like the shining sun. I saw cherubim beneath the throne. Flaming fire flowed out from under it, and I could not look at it. The great glory sat on the throne. His robe shone brighter than the sun and was whiter than snow. No angel could approach or look at his face because of the glory. No human could see him. Flames surrounded him. A great fire stood before him. No one nearby could come close. Tens of thousands stood before him. Yet he needed no adviser. The most holy ones who stood near him never left, day or night. I lay face down, trembling. Then the Lord called to me with his voice and said, "Come here, Enoch, and hear my word." One of the holy ones came, woke me, and helped me stand. I bowed low at the door. He said to me, and I heard his voice, "Don't be afraid, Enoch, righteous man and scribe of righteousness. Come closer and listen to my words. Go and tell the watchers of heaven who sent you to plead for them. You were supposed to intercede for humans, not the other way around. Why did you leave the high eternal heaven? Why did you sleep with women, defile yourselves with the daughters of men, take wives, and become like those on earth, having giant children? You were spiritual, living forever, but you defiled yourselves with the blood of women. You fathered children with flesh and blood. Like mortal men, you craved flesh. Because of this, I gave men wives so they could have children and fulfill their needs on earth. But you, spiritual beings, were supposed to remain in heaven. I didn't give you wives. Spiritual beings of heaven live in heaven. Now the giants born from the union of spirits and flesh will become evil spirits on earth. They will live on earth. Evil spirits have come from their bodies. Because they are half human and half watcher, their origin is corrupted. They will be called evil spirits on earth. These spirits will bring destruction, oppression, violence, war, and trouble. They will hunger and thirst but never eat. They will cause offences. These spirits will rise against people and women because they came from them. From the time the giants died and were destroyed, their spirits came out of their bodies and roam the earth. They destroy without being judged. They will continue doing this until the final judgment, when the world is finished. The watchers and the godless will be completely destroyed. As for the watchers who sent you to plead for them, those who were once in heaven, tell them, you were in heaven, but you didn't understand the full truth. You shared worthless secrets in your arrogance. These secrets have caused evil on earth. Tell them plainly, you will have no peace. Chapter 6. Taken by angels. The angels took me and brought me to a place where those there appeared like flames of fire. But when they wanted, they looked like men. They brought me to a place of darkness, to a mountain whose peak reached to heaven. I saw the places of the stars, the treasuries of lightning and thunder, and deep within were fiery weapons, a bow, arrows, a quiver, and a sword, and all kinds of lightning. They brought me to the living waters and to the fire in the west, where the sun sets. I came to a river of fire that flowed like water and poured into the great sea in the west. I saw great rivers. I came to a massive river and a region of deep darkness. I came to a place where no living thing walks. I saw mountains of winter darkness, and the place where all the deep waters begin. I saw the mouths of all the rivers of the earth, and the mouth of the great deep. I saw the storehouses of all the winds. I saw how he set them up, and how the whole creation relies on them. I saw the cornerstone of the earth. I saw the four winds that hold up the sky. I saw how the winds stretch the vaults of heaven, stationed between heaven and earth. These are the pillars of heaven. I saw the winds that move the sun and the stars to their places. I saw the winds of the earth carry clouds. I saw the paths of the angels. I reached the edge of the earth and saw the sky resting on it. I saw a place that burns day and night, 7 mountains made of beautiful stones. 3 mountains were to the east and 3 to the south. The ones to the east were coloured stones, one of pearl, one of jacinth. The southern ones were made of red stone. The middle mountain rose up to heaven like the throne of God, made of alabaster, and its peak was sapphire. I saw flaming fire. Beyond these mountains was a place where the world ends. That is where the heavens were completed. I saw a deep abyss with columns of heavenly fire. Among them I saw fire columns fall, reaching far in every direction. Beyond that abyss was a place with no sky above and no solid ground beneath. There was no water, no birds, a terrifying barren place. I saw 7 stars like huge burning mountains. I asked the angel with me, "What are these?" He said, "This is the end of heaven and earth. This is the prison for the stars and heavenly hosts. These are the stars that disobeyed God's commands at the beginning of their rising. They didn't show up when they were supposed to. God was angry with them and bound them until the time of their judgment, 10,000 years. Uriel said, "Here stand the angels who joined themselves to women. Their spirits, in many forms, now lead people astray, making them sacrifice to demons instead of God. Here they will stay until the day of great judgment, when they're destroyed. The women who were led astray by these angels will become sirens." I, Enoch, saw this vision alone, the end of all things. No one else will see what I have seen. Chapter 7. The Holy Angels. These are the names of the holy angels who watch over mankind. Uriel, the holy angel who is over the world and the realm of the dead. Tartarus. Raphael, the holy angel over the spirits of men. Raguel, the holy angel who brings justice against the world of the luminaries. Michael, the holy angel who is set over the best part of mankind and over chaos. Sarachael, the holy angel over spirits who sin in the spirit. Gabriel, the holy angel over paradise, serpents and the cherubim. Remiel, the holy angel appointed over those who rise from the dead. Then I went to a place where things were chaotic, and I saw something dreadful. There was no heaven above, and no firm foundation of earth below, just a chaotic and terrible space. There I saw 7 stars of heaven bound together like huge mountains burning with fire. I asked, "For what sin are these stars bound? Why have they been cast here?" Then Uriel, one of the holy angels, who was with me, and who led them, said, "Enoch, why do you ask? Why are you so eager for the truth? These are part of the number of the stars of heaven. They have broken the command of the Lord. That's why they are bound here. Until 10,000 years are completed, the time needed for their sins." From there I went to another place, even more dreadful than the last. I saw a terrible sight, a great fire burning and blazing, the place split down into the abyss. Huge pillars of fire were falling into it. I couldn't see how wide or deep it was. I couldn't even imagine it. I said, "This place is terrifying to look at." Uriel, the holy angel who was with me, said, "Why are you afraid, Enoch?" I replied, "Because of this terrifying place and the suffering I see here." And he said to me, "This is the prison of the angels. Here they will be held forever." Then I went to another place, a mountain of hard rock. There were 4 deep, wide, smooth hollows carved into it. They were dark and deep and terrifying to look at. Raphael, the holy angel who was with me, said, "These hollow places were made so the spirits of the dead could gather here. This is where all the souls of men will assemble until their appointed time, the day of judgment." I saw a spirit crying out, making a case before heaven. I asked Raphael, "Whose spirit is that, making a plea to heaven?" He answered, "This is the spirit of Abel, whom his brother Cain killed. He cries out against him until Cain's descendants are wiped from the earth and from among mankind." Then I asked about all the hollow places. "Why are they separated from one another?" He said, "These 3 were made to separate the spirits of the dead. One is for the righteous, where there is a bright spring of water. Another is for sinners who died without receiving judgment in life. Their spirits suffer here in great pain until the day of judgment, when they will be punished and tormented. God will bind them here forever. Another hollow is for the spirits of those who testified about their own destruction, those who were murdered during the days of the sinners. The last is for those who were not righteous, but full of transgression. Their spirits will remain with other sinners. They won't be killed in judgment, but they also won't rise again." Then I blessed the Lord of glory, and said, "Blessed be my Lord, the righteous one, who rules forever." From there I went to another place in the west, to the edge of the earth, and I saw a fire that never stopped burning, moving without rest, day or night. I asked, "What is this fire that never stops?" Raguel, one of the holy angels with me, answered, "This is the fire of the west. It pursues all the lights of heaven." Then I went to another place, and saw a mountain range made entirely of fire. It burned day and night. I passed beyond it and saw 7 magnificent mountains. Each one was different from the others, beautiful, glorious, their appearance unlike anything on earth. 3 were to the east, stacked one on top of the other. 3 were to the south, also one above another. Deep, rough ravines separated them, none of them connected. The 7th mountain stood in the middle. It was the tallest of them all. like the seat of a throne. Fragrant trees surrounded it. Among the trees there was one I had never seen before. No other tree was like it. Its smell was sweeter than anything I'd ever known. Its leaves, flowers and wood never withered. Its fruit was stunning. It looked like dates from a palm tree. I said, "How beautiful and fragrant this tree is. Its leaves are lovely, and its flowers are delightful." Michael, the holy and honoured angel who was with me, and who led them all, answered, "Why are you asking about the scent of this tree? Why do you want to understand its truth?" I said, "Because I want to understand everything, but especially this tree." He said, "This tall mountain, whose peak is like the throne of God, it is his throne. The Holy Great One, the Eternal King, will sit here when he comes down to bless the earth. As for this tree, no human can touch it until the great judgment. Then God will take vengeance and finish all things. At that time this tree will be given to the righteous and the holy. Its fruit will be their food. It will be transplanted to the holy place, to the temple of the Lord, the Eternal King. Then they will rejoice. They'll enter the holy place, and its fragrance will fill their bones. They will live long lives, like the ancient fathers, and in their days there will be no sorrow, plague, torment, or disaster." Then I blessed the God of glory, the Eternal King, who prepared such wonders for the righteous and promised them as an inheritance. The first parable. The second vision which he saw, the vision of wisdom, which Enoch, the son of Jared, the son of Mahalaleel, the son of Cainan, the son of Enos, the son of Seth, the son of Adam, saw. This is the beginning of the words of wisdom, which I lifted up my voice to speak and say to those who dwell on earth. Hear, men of old time, and see, you that come after, the words of the Holy One, which I will speak before the Lord of spirits. It would have been better to declare to the men of old times, but even those who come after, we will not withhold the beginning of wisdom. Until this day, such wisdom has never been given by the Lord of spirits, as I have received according to my insight, according to the good pleasure of the Lord of spirits, by whom the lot of eternal life has been given to me. Now 3 parables were imparted to me, and I lifted up my voice and recounted them to those who dwell on the earth. When the congregation of the righteous appears, sinners will be judged for their sins, and will be driven from the face of the earth. And when the righteous one appears before the eyes of the righteous, whose chosen works depend upon the Lord of spirits, and light appears to the righteous and the chosen who dwell on the earth, where then will be the dwelling of the sinners, and where the resting place of those who have denied the Lord of spirits? It would have been better for them if they had not been born. When the secrets of the righteous are revealed and the sinners judged, the godless will be driven from the presence of the righteous and chosen. From that time those that possess the earth will no longer be powerful and exalted. They will not be able to behold the face of the holy, for the Lord of spirits has caused his light to appear on the face of the holy, righteous, and chosen. Then the kings and the mighty will perish, and be given into the hands of the righteous and holy. From then on, none will seek mercy from the Lord of spirits for their life, for it is at an end. In those days, chosen and holy children will descend from the high heaven, and their seed will become one with the children of men. And in those days Enoch received books of zeal and wrath, and books of disquiet and expulsion. Mercy will not be given to them, says the Lord of spirits. In those days a whirlwind carried me off from the earth and set me down at the end of the heavens. There I saw another vision, the dwelling places of the holy and the resting places of the righteous. My eyes saw their dwellings with his righteous angels, and their resting places with the holy. They petitioned and interceded and prayed for the children of men, and righteousness flowed before them like water, and mercy like dew upon the earth. Thus it is among them for ever and ever. In that place my eyes saw the elect one of righteousness and of faith, and I saw his dwelling place under the wings of the Lord of spirits. Righteousness will prevail in his days, and the righteous and chosen will be without number before him for ever and ever. All the righteous and chosen before him will be strong as fiery lights, and their mouths will be full of blessing, and their lips will praise the name of the Lord of spirits, and righteousness before him will never fail. There I wished to dwell, and my spirit longed for that dwelling place, and there had been my portion. For so it has been established concerning me before the Lord of spirits. In those days I praised and extolled the name of the Lord of spirits with blessings and praises, because he destined me for blessing and glory according to his good pleasure. For a long time my eyes regarded that place, and I blessed him and praised him, saying, Blessed is he, and may he be blessed from the beginning and forevermore. Before him there is no ceasing. He knows before the world was created what is forever and what will be from generation to generation. Those who do not sleep bless you. They stand before your glory and bless, praise, and extol, saying, Holy, holy, holy is the Lord of spirits. He fills the earth with spirits. And here my eyes saw all those who do not sleep. They stand before him and bless, and say, Blessed be you, and blessed be the name of the Lord, for ever and ever. And my face was changed, for I could no longer behold. After that I saw thousands upon thousands, and 10,000 times 10,000, a multitude beyond number and reckoning, who stood before the Lord of spirits. On the four sides of the Lord of spirits I saw 4 presences, different from those that do not sleep, and I learned their names. The angel that went with me made known to me their names, and showed me all the hidden things. I heard the voices of those 4 presences as they uttered praises before the Lord of glory. The first voice blesses the Lord of spirits for ever and ever. The second voice blesses the elect one and the elect who depend on the Lord of spirits. The third voice prays and intercedes for those who dwell on the earth, and supplicates in the name of the Lord of spirits. The fourth voice fends off the Satans and forbids them to come before the Lord of spirits to accuse those who dwell on the earth. I asked the angel of peace who went with me and showed me everything that is hidden. Who are these four presences I have seen, and whose words I have heard and written down? He said to me, This first is Michael, the merciful and long-suffering. The second, who is set over all the diseases and wounds of the children of men, is Raphael. The third, who is set over all the powers, is Gabriel. The fourth, who is set over the repentance unto hope of those who inherit eternal life, is named Phanuel. These are the four angels of the Lord of Spirits, and the four voices I heard in those 10 days. After that I saw all the secrets of the heavens, how the kingdom is divided, and how the actions of men are weighed in the balance. I saw the mansions of the elect, and the mansions of the holy, and my eyes saw all the sinners being driven from there who deny the name of the Lord of Spirits, being dragged off, unable to abide because of the punishment that proceeds from the Lord of Spirits. There my eyes saw the secrets of the lightning and thunder, and the secrets of the winds, how they are divided to blow over the earth, and the secrets of the clouds and dew, and from where they proceed, and from where they saturate the dusty earth. I saw closed chambers, out of which the winds are divided, the chamber of the hail and winds, the chamber of the mist and of the clouds, and the cloud thereof hovers over the earth from the beginning of the world. I saw the chambers of the sun and moon, from where they proceed, and where they return, their glorious return, how one is superior to the other, their stately orbit, how they do not leave their orbit, add nothing to it, and take nothing from it, and keep faith with each other according to the oath by which they are bound together. First the sun goes forth, and traverses his path according to the commandment of the Lord of Spirits, and mighty is his name for ever. After that I saw the hidden and visible path of the moon, and she accomplishes the course of her path by day and by night, one holding a position opposite the other before the Lord of Spirits. They give thanks and praise and do not rest, for unto them their thanksgiving is rest. The sun changes often for a blessing or a curse, and the course of the path of the moon is light to the righteous and darkness to the sinners in the name of the Lord, who made a separation between the light and the darkness, and divided the spirits of men, and strengthened the spirits of the righteous in the name of his righteousness. No angel hinders, and no power is able to hinder, for he appoints a judge for them all, and he judges them all before him. Wisdom found no place where she might dwell. Then a dwelling place was assigned her in the heavens. Wisdom went forth to make her dwelling among the children of men, and found no dwelling place. Wisdom returned to her place and took her seat among the angels. Unrighteousness went forth from her chambers, whom she sought not she found, and dwelt with them, like rain in a desert and dew on thirsty land. I saw other lightnings and the stars of heaven, and I saw how he called them all by their names, and they listened to him. I saw how they are weighed in a righteous balance, according to their proportions of light, the width of their spaces, the day of their appearing, how their revolution produces lightning, and their revolution according to the number of the angels, and they keep faith with each other. I asked the angel who went with me, and showed me what was hidden. "What are these?" He said to me, "The Lord of Spirits has shown you their parabolic meaning. These are the names of the holy who dwell on the earth and believe in the name of the Lord of Spirits forever." Another phenomenon I saw in regard to the lightnings, how some of the stars arise and become lightnings and cannot part with their new form. The second parable. This is the second parable concerning those who deny the name of the dwelling of the holy ones and the Lord of Spirits. Into the heaven they shall not ascend, and on the earth they shall not come. Such will be the lot of the sinners who have denied the name of the Lord of Spirits, who are thus preserved for the day of suffering and tribulation. On that day the elect one will sit on the throne of glory and will try their works, and their places of rest will be innumerable. Their souls will grow strong within them when they see the elect ones. Those who have called upon my glorious name, then I will cause my elect one to dwell among them. I will transform the heaven and make it an eternal blessing and light, and I will transform the earth and make it a blessing. I will cause my elect ones to dwell upon it. But the sinners and evil-doers will not set foot there. I have provided and satisfied with peace my righteous ones, and have caused them to dwell before me. But for the sinners there is judgment with me, so that I will destroy them from the face of the earth. There I saw one who had a head of days, and his head was white like wool. With him was another being whose countenance had the appearance of a man, and his face was full of graciousness, like one of the holy angels. I asked the angel who went with me and showed me all the hidden things concerning that Son of Man, who he was, where he came from, and why he went with the head of days. He answered and said to me, "This is the Son of Man who has righteousness, with whom righteousness dwells, who reveals all the treasures of that which is hidden. The Lord of Spirits has chosen him, and his lot has preeminence before the Lord of Spirits in uprightness forever. This Son of Man whom you have seen will raise up the kings and the mighty from their seats, loosen the reins of the strong, and break the teeth of the sinners, because they do not extol and praise him, nor humbly acknowledge from where their kingdom was given to them. He will put down the countenance of the strong, and will fill them with shame. Darkness will be their dwelling, and worms will be their bed. They will have no hope of rising from their beds, because they do not extol the name of the Lord of Spirits. These are they who judge the stars of heaven, tread upon the earth, and dwell upon it. All their deeds show unrighteousness, and their power rests upon their riches. Their faith is in the gods which they have made with their hands, and they deny the name of the Lord of Spirits. They persecute the houses of his congregations and the faithful who depend on the name of the Lord of Spirits. In those days the prayer of the righteous and the blood of the righteous will ascend from the earth before the Lord of Spirits. In those days the holy ones who dwell above in the heavens will unite with one voice and supplicate and pray and praise, give thanks and bless the name of the Lord of Spirits on behalf of the blood of the righteous which has been shed. that the prayer of the righteous may not be in vain before the Lord of spirits. Judgment will be done unto them, and they will not have to suffer for ever. In those days I saw the head of days, when he seated himself upon the throne of his glory, and the books of the living were opened before him, and all his host which is in heaven above, and his counsellors stood before him. The hearts of the holy were filled with joy, because the number of the righteous had been offered. The prayer of the righteous had been heard, and the blood of the righteous required before the Lord of spirits. In that place I saw the fountain of righteousness, which was inexhaustible, and around it were many fountains of wisdom. All the thirsty drank of them, and were filled with wisdom, and their dwellings were with the righteous and holy and chosen. At that hour that Son of Man was named in the presence of the Lord of spirits, and his name before the head of days. Yes, before the sun and the signs were created, before the stars of the heaven were made, his name was named before the Lord of spirits. He will be a staff to the righteous, where they may steady themselves and not fall. He will be the light of the nations and the hope of those troubled of heart. All who dwell on earth will fall down and worship before him, and will praise and bless and celebrate with song the Lord of spirits. For this reason he has been chosen and hidden before him, before the creation of the world and forever. The wisdom of the Lord of spirits has revealed him to the holy and righteous, for he has preserved the lot of the righteous, because they have hated and despised this world of unrighteousness, and have hated all its works and ways in the name of the Lord of spirits. For in his name they are saved, and according to his good pleasure it has been in regard to their life. In these days the kings of the earth will be downcast, and the strong who possess the land will be shaken because of the works of their hands. On the day of their anguish and affliction they will not save themselves, and I will give them over into the hands of my elect. Like straw in the fire, so will they burn before the face of the holy. Like lead in the water, they will sink before the face of the righteous, and no trace of them will any more be found. On the day of their affliction there will be rest on the earth, and before them they will fall and not rise again. There will be no one to take them with his hands and raise them, for they have denied the Lord of spirits and his anointed one. The name of the Lord of spirits be blessed. Wisdom is poured out like water, and glory does not fail before him forever. He is mighty in all the secrets of righteousness, and unrighteousness will disappear like a shadow and have no continuance, because the elect one stands before the Lord of spirits, and his glory is forever, and his might unto all generations. In him dwells the spirit of wisdom, the spirit that gives insight, the spirit of understanding and might, and the spirit of those who have fallen asleep in righteousness. He will judge the secret things, and none will be able to utter a lying word before him, for he is the elect one before the Lord of spirits, according to his good pleasure. In those days a change will take place for the holy and chosen, and the light of days will abide upon them, and glory and honour will turn to the holy. On the day of affliction, on which evil has been treasured up against the sinners, the righteous will be victorious in the name of the Lord of spirits, and he will cause the others to witness so that they may repent and abandon the works of their hands. They will have no honour through the name of the Lord of spirits, yet through his name they will be saved, and the Lord of spirits will have compassion on them, for his compassion is great. He is righteous also in his judgment, and in the presence of his glory unrighteousness will not remain. At his judgment the unrepentant will perish before him. From now on I will have no mercy on them, says the Lord of spirits. In those days the earth will give back what has been entrusted to it. Sheol also will give back what it has received, and hell will give back what it owes. In those days the elect one will arise, and he will choose the righteous and holy from among them. The day has drawn near that they should be saved. The elect one will in those days sit on my throne, and his mouth will pour forth all the secrets of wisdom and counsel, for the Lord of spirits has given to him and glorified him. In those days the mountains will leap like rams, and the hills will skip like lambs satisfied with milk, and the faces of the angels in heaven will shine with joy. The earth will rejoice, the righteous will dwell upon it, and the elect will walk there. After those days, in that place where I had seen all the visions of that which is hidden, for I had been carried off in a whirlwind and borne towards the west, my eyes saw all the secret things of heaven that will be, a mountain of iron, a mountain of copper, a mountain of silver, a mountain of gold, a mountain of soft metal, and a mountain of lead. I asked the angel who went with me, saying, "What are these things I have seen in secret?" He said to me, "All these things you have seen will serve the dominion of his anointed, that he may be potent and mighty on the earth." That angel of peace answered, saying to me, "Wait a little, and all the secret things which surround the Lord of spirits will be revealed to you. These mountains you have seen, of iron, copper, silver, gold, soft metal, and lead, all will be in the presence of the elect one as wax before the fire, and like water streaming down, they will become powerless before his feet. In those days none will be saved by gold or silver, and none will be able to escape. There will be no iron for war, no breastplates of bronze, tin will not be esteemed, lead will not be desired, and all these things will be destroyed from the surface of the earth." I looked and turned to another part of the earth, and saw there a deep valley with burning fire. They brought the kings and the mighty, and began to cast them into this deep valley. My eyes saw how they made their instruments, iron chains of immeasurable weight. I asked the angel of peace who went with me, saying, "For whom are these chains being prepared?" He said to me, "These are being prepared for the hosts of Azazel, so that they may take them and cast them into the abyss of complete condemnation. And they will cover their jaws with rough stones, as the Lord of spirits commanded." Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, and Phanuel will take hold of them on that great day, and cast them into the burning furnace, that the Lord of spirits may take vengeance on them for their unrighteousness in becoming subject to Satan, and leading astray those who dwell on the earth. In those days punishment will come from the Lord of spirits, and he will open all the chambers of waters which are above the heavens, and of the fountains which are beneath the earth. All the waters will be joined, the waters above the heavens being masculine, and the waters beneath the earth feminine. They will destroy all who dwell on the earth, and those who dwell under the ends of heaven. When they have recognized their unrighteousness which they have done on the earth, then by these they will perish. After that the head of days repented, and said, In vain have I destroyed all who dwell on the earth. He swore by his great name, Henceforth I will not do so to all who dwell on the earth. I will set a sign in the heaven, and this will be a pledge of good faith between me and them forever, so long as heaven is above the earth, and this is in accordance with my command. When I have desired to take hold of them by the hand of the angels on the day of tribulation and pain, because of this I will cause my chastisement and wrath to abide upon them, says the Lord of spirits. You mighty kings who dwell on the earth, you will have to behold my elect one, how he sits on the throne of glory, and judges Azazel and all his associates and all his hosts in the name of the Lord of spirits. I saw the hosts of the angels of punishment going, holding scourges and chains of iron and bronze. I asked the angel of peace who went with me. To whom are these going? He said to me, To their chosen and beloved ones, that they may be cast into the chasm of the abyss of the valley. Then that valley will be filled with their chosen and beloved, and the days of their lives will be at an end, and the days of their leading astray will no longer be counted. In those days the angels will return and hurl themselves to the east upon the Parthians and Medes. They will stir up the kings, and a spirit of unrest will come upon them. They will rise from their thrones like lions from their lairs, and like hungry wolves among their flocks. They will tread upon the land of his elect ones, but the city of the righteous will hinder their horses. They will begin to fight among themselves. A man will not know his brother, nor a son his father or mother, until there is no number to the corpses through their slaughter, and their punishment is not in vain. In those days Sheol will open its jaws, and they will be swallowed up. Their destruction will be at an end. Sheol will devour the sinners in the presence of the elect. It came to pass after this that I saw another host of wagons and men riding on them, coming on the winds from the east and from the west to the south. The noise of their wagons was heard, and when this turmoil took place, the holy ones from heaven remarked it. And the pillars of the earth were moved from their place, and the sound was heard from one end of heaven to the other, in one day. They will all fall down and worship the Lord of spirits. This is the end of the second parable. The third parable. I began to speak the third parable concerning the righteous and chosen. Blessed are you, righteous and chosen, for glorious will be your lot. The righteous will be in the light of the sun, and the chosen in the light of eternal life. The days of their life will be unending, and the days of the holy without number. They will seek the light and find righteousness with the Lord of spirits. There will be peace to the righteous in the name of the eternal Lord. After this it will be said to the holy in heaven that they should seek out the secrets of righteousness, the heritage of faith. It has become bright as the sun upon the earth, and the darkness is past. There will be a light that never ends, and they will not reach a limit of days. The darkness will first have been destroyed, and the light of uprightness established forever before the Lord of spirits. In those days my eyes saw the secrets of the lightnings and lights, the judgments they execute, and how they bring blessing or curse, as the Lord of spirits wills. There I saw the secrets of the thunder, how, when it resounds above in the heaven, the sound is heard. He caused me to see the judgments executed on the earth, whether for well-being and blessing, or for a curse according to the word of the Lord of spirits. After that, all the secrets of the lights and lightnings were shown to me, and how they bring blessing and satisfaction. In the year 500, in the 7th month, on the 14th day of the month, in the life of Enoch, in that parable I saw how a mighty quaking made the heaven of heavens shake, and the host of the Most High, and the angels, thousands upon thousands and 10,000 times 10,000, were disquieted with great unrest. The head of days sat on the throne of his glory, and the angels and the righteous stood around him. A great trembling seized me. Fear took hold of me. My loins gave way, my reins dissolved, and I fell on my face. Michael sent another angel from among the holy ones, who raised me up. When he raised me, my spirit returned, for I had not been able to endure the sight of this host, the commotion and the quaking of heaven. Michael said to me, "Why are you disquieted with such a vision? Until this day lasted the day of his mercy, and he has been merciful and long-suffering toward those who dwell on the earth. When the day, the power, the punishment, and the judgment come, which the Lord of spirits has prepared for those who do not worship the righteous law, those who deny the righteous judgment, those who take his name in vain, that day is prepared, for the elect a covenant, but for sinners an inquisition. When the punishment of the Lord of spirits rests upon them, it will rest so that it may not come in vain. It will slay the children with their mothers, and the children with their fathers. Afterwards the judgment will take place according to his mercy and his patience. On that day 2 monsters were separated, a female monster named Leviathan, to dwell in the abysses of the ocean, over the fountains of the waters, and a male named Behemoth, who occupied with his breast a waste wilderness named Duidain, on the east of the garden where the elect and righteous dwell, where my grandfather was taken up, the 7th from Adam, the first man whom the Lord of spirits created. I begged the other angel to show me the might of those monsters, how they were separated on one day and cast, one into the abysses of the sea, and the other onto the dry land of the wilderness. He said to me, "Son of man, you seek to know what is hidden. The other angel who went with me and showed me what was hidden told me what was first and last in the heaven, in the height, beneath the earth, in the depth, at the ends of the heaven, and on the foundation of the heaven. He showed me the chambers of the winds, how the winds are divided, how they are weighed, and how the portals of the winds are reckoned, each according to its power, and the power of the lights of the moon, and the divisions of the stars according to their names, and how all their divisions are arranged. He showed me the thunders according to the places where they fall, and all the divisions made among the lightnings, so that they may flash, and their host, that they may at once obey. For the thunder has places of rest assigned to it while it waits for its peal. The thunder and lightning are inseparable, though not one. They both go together through the Spirit and do not separate. When the lightning flashes, the thunder utters its voice, and the Spirit enforces a pause during the peal, dividing equally between them. The treasury of their peals is like the sand, and each one as it peals is held in with a bridle, turned back by the power of the Spirit, and pushed forward according to the many quarters of the earth. The spirit of the sea is masculine and strong, and by the might of his strength he draws it back with a rein, and in like manner it is driven forward and disperses amid all the mountains of the earth. The spirit of the frost has its own angel, the spirit of the hail is a good angel. The spirit of the snow has forsaken its chambers on account of its strength. There is a special spirit in it, and what ascends from it is like smoke. Its name is frost. The spirit of the mist is not united with them in their chambers, but it has a special chamber. Its course is glorious, both in light and in darkness, in winter and in summer, and in its chamber is an angel. The spirit of the dew has its dwelling at the ends of heaven, connected with the chambers of the rain. Its course is in winter and summer. Its clouds and the clouds of the mist are connected, one gives to the other. When the spirit of the rain goes forth from its chamber, the angels come and open the chamber and lead it out. When it is diffused over the whole earth, it unites with the water on the earth, for the waters are for those who dwell on the earth. They are nourishment for the earth from the Most High, who is in heaven. Therefore there is a measure for the rain, and the angels take charge of it. These things I saw towards the garden of the righteous. The angel of peace who was with me said, "These two monsters, prepared according to the greatness of God, will feed." In those days I saw long cords given to those angels, and they took to themselves wings and flew toward the north. I asked the angel, "Why have those angels taken these cords and gone off?" He said, "They have gone to measure." The angel who went with me said, "These will bring the measures of the righteous and the ropes of the righteous to the righteous, so they may depend on the name of the Lord of spirits forever. The chosen will begin to dwell with the chosen. These are the measures given to faith which will strengthen righteousness. These measures will reveal all the secrets of the depths of the earth, and those destroyed by the desert, those devoured by the beasts, and those devoured by the fish of the sea, that they may return and depend on the day of the elect one. For none will be destroyed before the Lord of spirits, and none can be destroyed. All who dwell above in heaven received a command, power, one voice, and one light like fire. With their first words they blessed and extolled and praised with wisdom. They were wise in utterance and in the spirit of life. The Lord of spirits placed the elect one on the throne of glory, and he will judge all the works of the holy above in heaven, and in the balance their deeds will be weighed. The Lord commanded the kings and the mighty and the exalted, and those who dwell on the earth, and said, "Open your eyes and lift up your horns, if you are able to recognize the elect one." The Lord of spirits seated him on the throne of his glory, and the Spirit of righteousness was poured out upon him. The word of his mouth slays all the sinners, and all the unrighteous are destroyed from before his face. In that day all the kings, the mighty, the exalted, and those who hold the earth will stand and see how he sits on the throne of his glory. Righteousness is judged before him, and no lying word is spoken. Then pain will come upon them like a woman in labour when her child enters the womb and she suffers to bring forth. One portion will look upon the other, and they will be terrified, downcast in countenance, and pain will seize them when they see that Son of Man sitting on the throne of his glory. The kings, the mighty, and all who possess the earth will bless and glorify and extol him who rules over all, who was hidden. From the beginning the Son of Man was hidden. The Most High preserved him in the presence of his might, and revealed him to the chosen. The congregation of the chosen and holy will be sown, and all the chosen will stand before him on that day. All the kings, mighty, exalted, and rulers of the earth will fall down before him on their faces, and worship and set their hope upon that Son of Man, petitioning him and supplicating for mercy at his hands. Nevertheless, the Lord of spirits will press them, so they will hastily go forth from his presence, their faces filled with shame, darkness growing deeper upon them. He will deliver them to the angels for punishment, to execute vengeance on them, because they oppressed his children and his chosen. They will be a spectacle for the righteous and his chosen. They will rejoice over them, because the wrath of the Lord of spirits rests upon them, and his sword is drunk with their blood. The righteous and chosen will be saved on that day, never again to see the face of sinners and the unrighteous. The Lord of spirits will abide over them, and with that Son of Man they will eat, lie down, and rise up forever. The righteous and chosen will have risen from the earth and ceased to be of downcast countenance. They will be clothed with garments of glory. They will be clothed with garments of glory, the garments of life from the Lord of spirits. Their garments will not grow old, nor will their glory pass away before the Lord of spirits. In those days the mighty and kings who possess the earth will implore for a little respite from his angels of punishment to whom they were delivered, that they might fall down and worship before the Lord of spirits and confess their sins before him. They will bless and glorify the Lord of spirits and say, "Blessed is the Lord of spirits, Lord of kings, Lord of the mighty, Lord of the rich, Lord of glory and wisdom." Splendid in every secret thing is your power from generation to generation, and your glory forever. Deep are all your secrets and innumerable, and your righteousness is beyond reckoning. We have now learned that we should glorify and bless the Lord of kings, and him who is king over all kings. They will say that we had rest to glorify, and give thanks, and confess our faith before his glory. Now we long for a little rest, but find none. We pursue and do not obtain. Light has vanished from before us. Darkness is our dwelling place forever. We have not believed before him, nor glorified the name of the Lord of spirits. Our hope was in the sceptre of our kingdom and in our own glory. In the day of our suffering and tribulation he does not save us, and we find no respite for confession that our Lord is true in all his works, in his judgments and his justice. His judgments have no respect of persons. We pass away from before his face on account of our works, and all our sins are reckoned in righteousness. They will say, "Our souls are full of unrighteous gain, but it does not prevent us from descending into Sheol." After that their faces will be filled with darkness and shame before that Son of Man, and they will be driven from his presence, and the sword will remain before his face in their midst. Thus says the Lord of spirits, "This is the ordinance and judgment with respect to the mighty, the kings, the exalted, and those who possess the earth before the Lord of spirits." Other forms I saw hidden in that place. I heard the voice of the angel saying, "These are the angels who descended to the earth, revealed what was hidden to the children of men, and seduced them into committing sin." Chapter 1. The Birth of Noah. After some days, my son Methuselah took a wife for his son Lamech. She became pregnant and bore a son. His body was white as snow and red like the blooming of a rose. The hair of his head and his long locks were white like wool, and his eyes were beautiful. When he opened his eyes, the whole house lit up like the sun, and the house was filled with brightness. Immediately he rose in the hands of the midwife, opened his mouth, and spoke with the Lord of righteousness. "I have begotten a strange son, unlike a man, resembling the sons of heaven. His nature is different, he is not like us. His eyes are like the rays of the sun, and his face is glorious. It seems to me that he was not begotten by me, but by the angels. I fear that in his days a great wonder may happen on the earth. So I have come to you, Father, to ask that you go to Enoch, our ancestor, who dwells with the angels, and learn the truth." When Methuselah heard these words, he came to me at the ends of the earth, for he had heard I was there. He cried out, and I heard his voice, and came to him. I said, "Here I am, my son. Why have you come to me?" He answered, "Because of a great anxiety I have come, and a disturbing vision. Lamech, my son, has begotten a child unlike any on earth. His body is whiter than snow, and redder than a rose. His hair is whiter than wool, and his eyes are like the sun. When he opened them, the whole house was lit. He arose in the hands of the midwife, and blessed the Lord of heaven. Lamech was afraid and fled to me, saying the child was not his, but resembled the angels of heaven. I have come to you that you may reveal the truth. And I, Enoch, answered, The Lord will do a new thing on the earth. I have already seen this in a vision. In the days of my father Jared, some of the angels of heaven transgressed the word of the Lord. They sinned and took wives, begetting children by them. These children will be giants, not of the spirit, but of the flesh. A great punishment will come upon the earth, and it will be cleansed from impurity. There shall be a great destruction, a flood that will last 1 year. But this son who has been born will remain on the earth, and his 3 sons with him. While all other men perish, he and his sons will be saved. Tell your son Lamech that this child is truly his son. Call his name Noah, for he and his sons will be saved from the destruction that will come upon the earth because of sin and unrighteousness. But afterward there will still be unrighteousness greater than before. I know the mysteries of the holy ones, for the Lord has shown me, and I have read them in the heavenly tablets. I saw written that generation after generation will transgress, until one generation of righteousness arises. Then transgression will end, sin will pass away, and goodness will fill the earth. Now, my son, tell Lamech that this child is indeed his son, and this is no lie. When Methuselah heard my words, for I showed him everything in secret, he returned and told Lamech. They named the child Noah, saying, He will comfort the earth after its destruction. Chapter 2. The Calling of Enoch. In those days Noah saw that the earth had sunk down, and its destruction was near. Hear me, hear me, hear me. Tell me what is happening on the earth. Why is it in such trouble and shaking, lest I too should perish with it? Why have you cried to me with such bitterness and weeping? A command has gone forth from the Lord against those who dwell on the earth. Their ruin is determined because they have learned all the secrets of the angels, the violence of the Satans, and all their hidden powers. They have gained the power of sorcery and witchcraft. They have learned how to make molten images, how silver is taken from the dust, how soft metals are formed. Lead and tin do not come from the earth like the first metals. They flow from a fountain where an angel stands, and that angel is chief over them. After this, my grandfather Enoch took me by the hand and raised me up. He said, Go, for I have asked the Lord of Spirits about this commotion on the earth. He told me, Because of their unrighteousness, their judgment is decided and will not be delayed forever. Because of the sorceries they have sought and learned, the earth and its inhabitants will be destroyed. They will never find repentance, for they revealed what was hidden. They are cursed. But as for you, my son, the Lord of Spirits knows that you are pure and free from this guilt. He has chosen your name to be among the holy. He will preserve you among those who dwell on the earth. He has chosen your righteous seed for kingship and great honor. From your seed will flow a fountain of the righteous and holy without number forever. After this he showed me the angels of punishment. prepared to release the waters beneath the earth to bring judgment and destruction on its inhabitants. But the Lord of Spirits commanded those angels not to let the waters rise yet, but to hold them in check. These angels are over the powers of the waters. Then I departed from the presence of Enoch. Chapter 3. The Judgment of the Angels. Noah, your lot has come up before me, a lot without blame, a lot of love and uprightness. The angels are at work, and when they have finished their task, I will place my hand upon it and preserve it. From it the seed of life will come forth, and change will come, so the earth will not remain without inhabitants. I will make your seed stand before me forever. I will spread abroad those who dwell with you. They will not be cut off from the earth, but will be blessed and will multiply in the name of the Lord. The angels who showed unrighteousness will be imprisoned in the burning valley which your grandfather Enoch showed you before, in the west, among the mountains of gold, silver, iron, soft metal, and tin. I saw that valley. There was a great shaking and convulsion of the waters. From that fiery molten metal and from the shaking of the place came a smell of sulphur, mingled with the waters. Beneath that land, the valley of the angels who led astray was burning. Through its valleys flow streams of fire, where these angels are punished, the ones who led astray those who dwell on the earth. But in those days the waters there will be used by the kings, the mighty, and the exalted ones of the earth. They will heal their bodies, but punish their spirits, for their spirits are full of lust, and they will be judged in their bodies. They denied the Lord of Spirits, yet see their punishment daily, and still they do not believe in his name. As the burning of their bodies grows more severe, their spirits will be changed in the same measure for ever and ever. Before the Lord of Spirits no idle word will stand. Judgment will come upon them because they trusted in the lust of their bodies and denied the Spirit of the Lord. Even the waters will change in those days. When the angels are punished in these waters, the springs will change their temperature. When the angels rise up, the waters of the springs will become cold. This judgment, wherewith the angels are judged, is a testimony for the kings and the mighty ones of the earth. Because these waters of judgment serve for the healing of their bodies and the lust of their flesh, they will not understand and will not believe that these waters will be changed and become a fire which burns forever. Chapter 4. Secrets of the Parables. After this, my grandfather Enoch gave me the teaching of all the secrets contained in the parables which had been given to him. He wrote them together for me in the words of the Book of the Parables. On that day Michael answered Raphael and said, "The power of the Spirit shakes me. It makes me tremble because of the severity of the judgment of the secrets, the judgment of the angels. Who can endure such a judgment, before which even they melt away?" Michael said again to Raphael, "Whose heart is not softened by this? Who is not troubled by this word of judgment, which has gone forth against those who led others astray?" And when he stood before the Lord of Spirits, Michael said to Raphael, "I will not take their part under the eye of the Lord, for the Lord of spirits has been angry with them, because they acted as though they were the Lord himself. Therefore all that is hidden shall come upon them forever. Neither angel nor man shall share in their portion. Alone they will receive their judgment forever and ever. After this judgment they will terrify and make men tremble, because they revealed these things to those who dwell on the earth. Behold, these are the names of the angels. The first is Samjaza, the second Artakepha, the third Amen, the fourth Kokabel, the fifth Turael, the sixth Rumjal, the seventh Danjal, the eighth Nekael, the ninth Barakel, the 10th Azazel, the 11th Amaros, the 12th Batajal, the 13th Busasejal, the 14th Hananel, the 15th Turel, the 16th Simapesiel, the 17th Jetrel, the 18th Tumael, the 19th Turel, and the 20th Rumael. The 21st also was Azazel. These are the chiefs of their angels, each ruling over hundreds, fifties, and tens. The first was Jekon. He led astray the sons of God and brought them down to earth, leading them astray through the daughters of men. The second was Asbeel. He gave the holy sons of God evil counsel and led them astray, so that they defiled themselves with the daughters of men. The third was Gadrael. He showed the children of men the weapons of death. He led astray Eve and revealed the shield, the coat of mail, the sword, and all the weapons of war. From his hand these things have come to the earth from that day until forever. The fourth was Penemu. He taught men the bitter and the sweet, all the secrets of their wisdom. He instructed them in writing with ink and paper, and because of this many have sinned to this day. For men were not created for such a purpose, to confirm their faith with pen and ink. They were created to be like the angels, pure and righteous, and death would not have taken hold of them. But through this knowledge they perish, and through this power it consumes them. The fifth was Kasdaja. He showed the children of men the wicked arts of spirits and demons, the smiting of the unborn in the womb, the bites of the serpent, and the blows that come through the noonday heat. The son of the serpent is named Tabaet. This is also the work of Kasbeel, the chief of the oath. He showed the holy ones the oath when he lived high above in glory, and its name is Beka. This angel asked Michael to reveal the hidden name, so that he might pronounce it in the oath. By that name and oath, those who revealed secrets to the children of men would be made to quake. This oath is powerful and strong, and Michael held it in his hand. These are the secrets of this oath, and they are strong by it. The heaven was suspended before the world was created, and remains forever. Through it the earth was founded upon the waters. From the secret recesses of the mountains come the streams of water, from creation until eternity. Through that oath the sea was created. Its foundation was set against the sand in the time of wrath, and it cannot pass beyond it from creation until eternity. Through that oath the depths were made firm and remain unmoved forever. Through that oath the sun and moon complete their courses, never straying from their order. Through that oath the stars also complete their paths. He calls them by name, and they answer him forever. This oath holds power over them, preserving their courses so that they are not destroyed. There was great joy among them, and they blessed, glorified, and praised, because the name of that Son of Man had been revealed to them. He sat on the throne of his glory, and the judgment was given to the Son of Man. He caused sinners to pass away and be destroyed from the face of the earth, along with those who led the world astray. With chains they will be bound, and in their prison of destruction they will be held. Their works will vanish from the earth. From then on there will be nothing corruptible. The Son of Man has appeared and sat on the throne of his glory. All evil will pass away before his face, and the word of that Son of Man will go forth, strong before the Lord of Spirits. Chapter 1. Enoch is taken. After these things, during my lifetime, my name was lifted up to the Son of Man and to the Lord of Spirits from among those who dwell on the earth. I was carried up by the chariots of the Spirit, and my name disappeared from among them. From that day on, I was no longer counted among them. He set me between the two winds, between the north and the west, where the angels took cords to measure for me the place prepared for the elect and the righteous. There I saw the first fathers and the righteous who dwell in that place from the beginning. After this my spirit was taken up and ascended into the heavens. I saw the holy sons of God walking on flames of fire. Their garments were white, and their faces shone like snow. I saw 2 streams of fire, and the light of that fire shone like hyacinth. I fell on my face before the Lord of Spirits. The angel Michael seized me by my right hand, lifted me up, and led me through all the hidden things. He showed me the secrets of righteousness, and the secrets of the ends of the heavens, the chambers of the stars, and all the luminaries, and where they proceed before the face of the holy ones. My spirit was taken up into the highest heaven. There I saw a structure built of crystals, and between the crystals tongues of living fire. My spirit saw the girdle that bound that house of fire. On its 4 sides were streams full of living fire surrounding it. Around it stood the seraphim, cherubim, and ophanim. They do not sleep, but guard the throne of his glory. I saw countless angels, 1,000 thousands, and 10,000 times 10,000, encircling that house. Michael, Raphael, Gabriel, Phanuel, and the holy angels who are above the heavens go in and out of that house. They came forth from that house, Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, Phanuel, and many holy angels beyond number. With them was the head of days. His head was white and pure like wool, and his clothing beyond description. I fell on my face, my whole body relaxed, and my spirit was transformed. I cried out with a loud voice, filled with power, blessing, glorifying, and exalting him. These blessings from my mouth were well-pleasing before the head of days. The head of days came with Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, Phanuel, and thousands upon thousands of angels. He came to me, greeted me with his voice, and said to me, This is the Son of Man, born to righteousness. Righteousness abides with him, and the righteousness of the head of days never leaves him. He proclaims peace to you in the name of the world to come. From the creation of the world, peace has proceeded from him, and so it will be to you forever. All shall walk in his ways, for righteousness never forsakes him. With him will be their dwelling places, with him their heritage. They shall never be separated from him forever. There will be length of days with that Son of Man. The righteous shall have peace and an upright path in the name of the Lord of spirits forever. Chapter 2. The Luminaries. The book of the courses of the luminaries of heaven, their relations, their classes, their dominion and their seasons, their names and places of origin, and their months, which Uriel, the holy angel who was with me, who is their guide, showed to me. He showed me all their laws exactly as they are, and how it is with regard to all the years of the world and unto eternity, until the new creation is accomplished, which endures forever. This is the first law of the luminaries. The sun has its rising in the eastern portals of heaven, and its setting in the western portals of heaven. I saw 6 portals in which the sun rises, and 6 portals in which the sun sets. The moon rises and sets in these portals also, and the leaders of the stars and those whom they lead, 6 in the east and 6 in the west, all follow each other in accurate and corresponding order, with many windows to the right and left of these portals. First goes forth the great luminary named the sun, whose circumference is like the circumference of heaven, and who is quite filled with illuminating and heating fire. The chariot on which he ascends the wind drives, and the sun goes down from heaven and returns through the north in order to reach the east. He is guided so that he comes to the appropriate portal and shines in the face of heaven. In this way he rises in the first month in the great portal, which is the 4th. In that 4th portal from which the sun rises in the first month are 12 window openings, from which proceed a flame when they are opened in their season. When the sun rises in the heaven, he comes forth through that 4th portal 30 mornings in succession, and sets accurately in the 4th portal in the west of the heaven. During this period the day becomes daily longer, and the night nightly shorter, until the 30th morning. On that day the day is longer than the night by a 9th part, and the day amounts exactly to 10 parts, and the night to 8 parts. The sun rises from that 4th portal and sets in the 4th, and then returns to the 5th portal of the east for 30 mornings, rising from it and setting in the 5th portal. On that day the day becomes longer by 2 parts and amounts to 11 parts, and the night becomes shorter and amounts to 7 parts. He returns to the east and enters into the 6th portal, and rises and sets in the 6th portal for 31 mornings on account of its sign. On that day the day becomes longer than the night, the day becomes double the night, the day becomes 12 parts, and the night is shortened to 6 parts. The sun mounts up to make the day shorter and the night longer. He returns to the east and enters into the 6th portal, and rises from it, and sets for 30 mornings. When 30 mornings are accomplished, the day decreases by exactly 1 part, and becomes 11 parts, and the night 7. The sun goes forth from that 6th portal in the west, goes to the east, and rises in the 5th portal for 30 mornings, setting again in the 5th western portal. On that day the day decreases by 2 parts, and amounts to 10 parts, and the night to 8 parts. The sun goes forth from that 5th portal, and sets in the 5th portal of the west, and rises in the 4th portal for 31 mornings on account of its sign, and sets in the west. On that day the day is equalized with the night, and the night amounts to 9 parts, and the day to 9 parts. The sun rises from that portal, and sets in the west, and returns to the east, and rises for 30 mornings in the 3rd portal, and sets in the west in the 3rd portal. On that day the night becomes longer than the day, and night becomes longer than night, and day shorter than day until the 30th morning, and the night amounts exactly to 10 parts, and the day to 8 parts. The sun rises from that 3rd portal, and sets in the 3rd portal in the west, and returns to the east. For 30 mornings it rises in the 2nd portal in the east, and in like manner sets in the 2nd portal in the west of the heaven. On that day the night amounts to 11 parts, and the day to 7 parts. The sun rises on that day from that 2nd portal, and sets in the west in the 2nd portal, and returns to the east into the 1st portal for 31 mornings, and sets in the 1st portal in the west of the heaven. On that day the night becomes longer, and amounts to double the day. The night amounts exactly to 12 parts, and the day to 6. The sun has traversed the divisions of his orbit, and turns again on those divisions of his orbit. He enters that portal 30 mornings, and sets also in the west opposite to it. On that night the night has decreased in length by a 9th part, and has become 11 parts, and the day 7 parts. The sun has returned and entered into the 2nd portal in the east, and returns on those divisions of his orbit for 30 mornings, rising and setting. On that day the night decreases in length, and amounts to 10 parts, and the day to 8. On that day the sun rises from that portal, and sets in the west, and returns to the east, and rises in the 3rd portal for 31 mornings, and sets in the west of the heaven. On that day the night decreases, and amounts to 9 parts, and the day to 9 parts. The night is equal to the day, and the year is exactly 364 days. The length of the day and of the night, and the shortness of the day and of the night arise through the course of the sun. These distinctions are made. Its course becomes daily longer and nightly shorter. This is the law and the course of the sun. His return, as often as he returns, 60 times, rising for ever and ever. That which rises is the great luminary, and is so named according to its appearance, according as the Lord commanded. As he rises, so he sets and decreases not, nor rests, but runs day and night. His light is 7-fold brighter than that of the moon, but as regards size they are both equal. After this law I saw another law dealing with the smaller luminary, which is named the moon. Her circumference is like the circumference of heaven, and her chariot in which she rides is driven by the wind, and light is given to her in measure. Her rising and setting change every month, and her days are like the days of the sun. When her light is uniform, it amounts to the 7th part of the light of the sun. Thus she rises. Her first phase in the east comes forth on the 30th morning, and on that day she becomes visible and constitutes for you the first phase of the moon on the 30th day, together with the sun in the portal where the sun rises. One half of her goes forth by a 7th part, and her whole circumference is empty, without light, with the exception of 1/7 part of it, the 14th part of her light. When she receives 1/7 part of the half of her light amounts to 1/7 part, and the half thereof. She sets with the sun, and when the sun rises, the moon rises with him, and receives the half of 1 part of light. In that night, in the beginning of her morning, in the commencement of the lunar day, the moon sets with the sun, and is invisible that night with the 14 parts, and the half of 1 of them. She rises on that day with exactly a 7th part, and comes forth and recedes from the rising of the sun. In her remaining days she becomes bright in the 13 parts. I saw another course, a law for her, how according to that law she performs her monthly revolution. All these Uriel, the holy angel, who is the leader of them all, showed to me. He showed me their positions, and I wrote them down as he showed them to me. I wrote down their months as they were, and the appearance of their lights until 15 days were accomplished. In single 7th parts she accomplishes all her light in the east, and in single 7th parts she accomplishes all her darkness in the west. In certain months she alters her settings, and in certain months she pursues her own peculiar course. In 2 months the moon sets with the sun in those 2 middle portals, the 3rd and the 4th. She goes forth for 7 days, then turns about and returns again through the portal where the sun rises, and accomplishes all her light. She recedes from the sun, and in 8 days enters the 6th portal from which the sun goes forth. When the sun goes forth from the 4th portal, she goes forth 7 days, until she goes forth from the 5th and turns back again in 7 days into the 4th portal, and accomplishes all her light. She recedes and enters into the 1st portal in 8 days, and she returns again in 7 days into the 4th portal from which the sun goes forth. Thus I saw their position, how the moon rose and the sun set in those days. If 5 years are added together, the sun has an overplus of 30 days, and all the days which accrue to it for one of those 5 years, when they are full, amount to 364 days. The overplus of the sun and of the stars amounts to 6 days. In 5 years, 6 days every year come to 30 days, and the moon falls behind the sun, and stars to the number of 30 days. The sun and the stars bring in all the years exactly, so that they do not advance or delay their position by a single day unto eternity, but complete the years with perfect justice in 364 days. In 3 years there are 1,092 days, and in 5 years 1,820 days, so that in 8 years there are 2,912 days. For the moon alone the days amount in 3 years to 1,062 days, and in 5 years she falls 50 days behind, to which there is to be added 62 days. In 5 years there are 1,770 days, so that for the moon the days in 8 years amount to 2,832 days. For in 8 years she falls behind to the amount of 80 days. The year is accurately completed in conformity with their world stations and the stations of the sun, which rise from the portals through which it rises and sets 30 days. The leaders of the heads of the thousands, who are placed over the whole creation and over all the stars, also have to do with the 4 intercalary days, being inseparable from their office according to the reckoning of the year. These render service on the 4 days, which are not reckoned in the reckoning of the year. Because of them men go wrong, for those luminaries truly render service on the world stations, 1 in the first portal, 1 in the 3rd portal of heaven, 1 in the 4th portal, and 1 in the 6th portal. The exactness of the year is accomplished through its 364 stations. For the signs and the times and the years and the days the angel Uriel showed to me, whom the Lord of glory has set for ever over all the luminaries of heaven, in the heaven and in the world, so that they should rule on the face of heaven, be seen on the earth, and be leaders for the day and the night, and for all the ministering creatures which make their evolution in all the chariots of heaven. In like manner 12 doors Uriel showed me open in the circumference of the sun's chariot in heaven, through which the rays of the sun break forth. From them warmth is diffused over the earth when they are opened at their appointed seasons. For the winds and the spirit of the dew, when they are opened, stand open in the heavens at the ends. The 12 portals of heaven at the ends of the earth are the portals from which go forth the sun, moon, and stars, and all the works of heaven in the east and in the west. There are many windows open to the left and right of them, and one window at its season produces warmth, corresponding to those doors from which the stars come forth as commanded, and wherein they set corresponding to their number. I saw chariots in the heaven running in the world above those portals in which revolve the stars that never set. One is larger than all the rest, and it makes its course through the entire world. At the ends of the earth I saw 12 portals open to all the quarters from which the winds go forth and blow over the earth. 3 of them are open on the face of the heavens, 3 in the west, 3 on the right of the heaven, and 3 on the left. The 3 first are those of the east, and 3 are of the north, and 3 after those on the left of the south, and 3 of the west. Through 4 of these come winds of blessing and prosperity, and from the other 8 come hurtful winds. When they are sent, they bring destruction on all the earth and on the water upon it, and on all who dwell thereon, and on everything which is in the water and on the land. The first wind from those portals, called the east wind, comes forth through the first portal which is in the east inclining toward the south. From it come forth desolation, drought, heat, and destruction. Through the second portal in the middle comes what is fitting. From it there come rain, fruitfulness, prosperity, and dew. Through the third portal, which lies toward the north, come cold and drought. After these come forth the south winds through 3 portals. Through the first portal of them, inclining to the east, comes forth a hot wind. Through the middle portal next to it, there come forth fragrant smells, dew, rain, prosperity, and health. Through the third portal lying to the west come forth dew, rain, locusts, and desolation. After these the north winds come forth. From the seventh portal in the east come dew, rain, locusts, and desolation. From the middle portal come health, rain, dew, and prosperity. Through the third portal in the west come cloud, hoarfrost, snow, rain, dew, and locusts. After these are the west winds. Through the first portal adjoining the north come forth dew, hoarfrost, cold, snow, and frost. From the middle portal come forth dew, rain, prosperity, and blessing. Through the last portal which adjoins the south come forth drought, desolation, burning, and destruction. The 12 portals of the 4 quarters of heaven are completed, and all their laws and all their plagues and all their blessings I have shown to you, my son Methuselah. The first quarter is called the east, because it is the first. The second is called the south, because the Most High will descend there. There, in a special way, will he who is blessed forever descend. The west quarter is named the diminished, because there all the luminaries of heaven wane and go down. The fourth quarter, named the north, is divided into 3 parts. The first of them is for the dwelling of men. The second contains seas of water, abysses, forests, rivers, darkness, and clouds. The third part contains the garden of righteousness. I saw 7 high mountains, higher than all the mountains on the earth. From them comes hoarfrost, and days, seasons, and years pass away. I saw 7 rivers on the earth, larger than all the rivers. One of them, coming from the west, pours its waters into the great sea. 2 come from the north to the sea, and pour their waters into the Erythraean Sea in the east. The remaining 4 come forth on the side of the north to their own sea. 2 of them go to the Erythraean Sea, and 2 into the Great Sea, discharging themselves there, and some say into the desert. I saw 7 great islands in the sea and in the mainland, 2 in the mainland, and 5 in the Great Sea. The names of the sun are the following: the first Orjares, and the second Thomas. The moon has 4 names: the first Asonia, the second Abla, the third Benase, and the fourth Eri. These are the 2 great luminaries. Their circumference is like the circumference of heaven, and the size of the circumference of both is alike. In the circumference of the sun there are 7 portions of light, which are added to it more than to the moon. In definite measures they are transferred until the 7th portion of the sun is exhausted. They set and enter the portals of the west, make their revolution by the north, and come forth through the eastern portals on the face of heaven. When the moon rises, 1/14th part appears in heaven. Her light becomes full. On the 14th day she accomplishes her light, 15 parts of light are transferred to her until the 15th day her light is accomplished, according to the sign of the year. She becomes 15 parts, and the moon grows by 14th parts. In her waning she decreases on the first day to 14 parts of her light, on the second to 13, on the third to 12, on the fourth to 11, on the fifth to 10, on the sixth to 9, on the seventh to 8, on the eighth to 7, on the ninth to 6, on the 10th to 5, on the 11th to 4, on the 12th to 3, on the 13th to 2, on the 14th to half of a seventh, and all her remaining light disappears wholly on the 15th. In certain months the month has 29 days, and once 28. Uriel showed me another law, when light is transferred to the moon, and on which side it is transferred to her by the sun. During all the period when the moon is growing in her light, she is transferring it to herself when opposite the sun during 14 days. Her light is accomplished in heaven, and when she is illumined throughout, her light is full in heaven. On the first day she is called the new moon, for on that day the light rises upon her. She becomes full moon exactly on the day when the sun sets in the west, and from the east she rises at night. The moon shines the whole night through until the sun rises opposite her, and the moon is seen over against the sun. On the side whence the light of the moon comes forth, there again she wanes, until all the light vanishes, and all the days of the month are at an end. Her circumference becomes empty, void of light. For 3 months she makes 30 days. At her time she makes 3 months of 29 days each, in which she accomplishes her waning in the first period of time, in the first portal, for 177 days. In the time of her going out she appears for 3 months of 30 days each, and for 3 months she appears 29 each. At night she appears like a man for 20 days each time, and by day she appears like the heaven, and there is nothing else in her save her light. Now, my son, I have shown you everything. The law of all the stars of heaven is completed. He showed me all the laws of these for every day, for every season of bearing rule, for every year, for its going forth, and for the order prescribed to it every month and every week, and the waning of the moon which takes place in the 6th portal. For in this 6th portal her light is accomplished. After that there is the beginning of the waning, which takes place in the 1st portal in its season, until 177 days are accomplished, reckoned according to weeks, 25 and 2 days. She falls behind the sun, and the order of the stars exactly 5 days in the course of one period. And when this place which you see has been traversed, such is the picture and sketch of every luminary which Uriel the archangel, their leader, showed to me. Chapter 3. Heavenly Tablets. And in those days the angel Uriel answered and said to me, Behold, I have shown you everything, Enoch, and I have revealed everything to you, that you should see this sun and this moon, and the leaders of the stars of the heaven, and all those who turn them, their tasks and times and departures. And in the days of the sinners the years shall be shortened, and their seed shall be tardy on their lands and fields. And all things on the earth shall alter, and shall not appear in their time. The rain shall be kept back, and the heaven shall withhold it. And in those times the fruits of the earth shall be backward, and shall not grow in their time, and the fruits of the trees shall be withheld in their time. And the moon shall alter her order, and not appear at her time. And in those days the sun shall be seen, and he shall journey in the evening on the extremity of the great chariot in the west, and shall shine more brightly than accords with the order of light. And many chiefs of the stars shall transgress the order, and these shall alter their orbits and tasks, and not appear at the seasons prescribed to them. And the whole order of the stars shall be concealed from the sinners, and the thoughts of those on the earth shall err concerning them. And they shall be altered from all their ways. Yes, they shall err and take them to be gods, and evil shall be multiplied upon them, and punishment shall come upon them so as to destroy all. And he said unto me, Observe, Enoch, these heavenly tablets, and read what is written thereon, and mark every individual fact. And I observed the heavenly tablets, and read everything which was written, and understood everything, and read the book of all the deeds of mankind, and of all the children of flesh that shall be upon the earth to the remotest generations. And forthwith I blessed the great Lord, the King of glory for ever, in that he has made all the works of the world. And I extolled the Lord because of his patience, and blessed him because of the children of men. And after that I said, Blessed is the man who dies in righteousness and goodness, concerning whom there is no book of unrighteousness written, and against whom no day of judgment shall be found. And those 7 holy ones brought me and placed me on the earth before the door of my house, and said to me, Declare everything to your son Methuselah, and show to all your children that no flesh is righteous in the sight of the Lord, for he is their Creator. 1 year we will leave you with your son, till you give your commands, that you may teach your children, and record for them, and testify to all your children. In the 2nd year they shall take you from their midst. Let your heart be strong, for the good shall announce righteousness to the good. The righteous with the righteous shall rejoice, and shall offer congratulation to one another. But the sinners shall die with the sinners, and the apostate go down with the apostate. And those who practice righteousness shall die on account of the deeds of men, and be taken away on account of the doings of the godless. And in those days they ceased to speak to me, and I came to my people, blessing the Lord of the world. Chapter 4. 1 year to record. And now, my son Methuselah, all these things I am recounting to you and writing down for you. I have revealed to you everything, and given you books concerning all these. So preserve, my son Methuselah, the books from your father's hand, and see that you deliver them to the generations of the world. I have given wisdom to you and to your children, and to your children that shall be after you, that they may give it to their children for generations, this wisdom that surpasses their thought. And those who understand it shall not sleep, but shall listen with the ear, that they may learn this wisdom, and it shall please those that eat thereof better than good food. Blessed are all the righteous. Blessed are all those who walk in the way of righteousness and sin, not as the sinners. In the reckoning of all their days in which the sun traverses the heaven, entering into and departing from the portals for 30 days, with the heads of thousands of the order of the stars, together with the 4 which are intercalated, which divide the 4 portions of the year, which lead them and enter with them 4 days. Owing to them men shall be at fault, and not reckon them in the whole reckoning of the year. Yes, men shall be at fault, and not recognize them accurately. For they belong to the reckoning of the year, and are truly recorded forever. 1 in the first portal, and 1 in the third, and 1 in the fourth, and 1 in the 6th. And the year is completed in 364 days. And the account thereof is accurate, and the recorded reckoning thereof exact. For the luminaries and months and festivals and years and days has Uriel shown and revealed to me, to whom the Lord of the whole creation of the world has subjected the host of heaven. And he has power over night and day in the heaven, to cause the light to give light to men, sun, moon, and stars, and all the powers of the heaven which revolve in their circular chariots. And these are the orders of the stars, which set in their places and in their seasons and festivals and months. And these are the names of those who lead them, who watch that they enter at their times, in their orders, in their seasons, in their months, in their periods of dominion, and in their positions. Their 4 leaders, who divide the 4 parts of the year, enter first, and after them the 12 leaders of the orders, who divide the months. And for the 360 there are heads over thousands, who divide the days. And for the 4 intercalary days there are the leaders which divide the 4 parts of the year. And these heads over thousands are inserted between leader and leader, each behind a station, but their leaders make the division. And these are the names of the leaders who divide the 4 parts of the year which are ordained: Milkiel, Helemelech, Melejal, and Narel, and the names of those who lead them: Adnarel, Ijasuzel, and Elomeel. These 3 follow the leaders of the orders, and there is one that follows the 3 leaders of the orders, which follow those leaders of stations that divide the 4 parts of the year. In the beginning of the year Melchijal rises first and rules, who is named Tamaini and Sun, and all the days of his dominion whilst he bears rule are 91 days. And these are the signs of the days which are to be seen on earth in the days of his dominion: sweat and heat and calms, and all the trees bear fruit, and leaves are produced on all the trees, and the harvest of wheat, and the rose flowers, and all the flowers which come forth in the field, but the trees of the winter season become withered. And these are the names of the leaders which are under them: Berkael, Zelebsel, and another who is added a head of 1,000, called Helujaseph. And the days of the dominion of this are at an end. The next leader after him is Helemelech, whom one names the shining sun, and all the days of his light are 91 days. And these are the signs of days on the earth: glowing heat and dryness, And the trees ripen their fruits, and produce all their fruits ripe and ready. And the sheep pair, and become pregnant. And all the fruits of the earth are gathered in, and everything that is in the fields, and the winepress. These things take place in the days of his dominion. These are the names and the orders and the leaders of those heads of thousands: Gidaljal, Keel, and Heel, and the name of the head of 1,000, which is added to them, Asphael. And the days of his dominion are at an end. Chapter 5. Visions. And now, my son Methuselah, I will show you all my visions which I have seen, recounting them before you. 2 visions I saw before I took a wife, and the one was quite unlike the other. The first when I was learning to write, the second before I took your mother, I saw a terrible vision. And regarding them I prayed to the Lord. I had laid me down in the house of my grandfather Mahalaleel. I saw in a vision how the heaven collapsed and was borne off and fell to the earth. And when it fell to the earth, I saw how the earth was swallowed up in a great abyss, and mountains were suspended on mountains, and hills sank down on hills, and high trees were rent from their stems, and hurled down and sunk in the abyss. And thereupon a word fell into my mouth, and I lifted up to cry aloud, and said, The earth is destroyed. And my grandfather Mahalaleel waked me as I lay near him, and said unto me, Why do you cry so, my son? And why do you cry with such sorrow? And I recounted to him the whole vision which I had seen. And he said unto me, A terrible thing have you seen, my son, and of grave moment is your dream vision as to the secrets of all the sin of the earth. It must sink into the abyss and be destroyed with a great destruction. And now, my son, arise and make petition to the Lord of glory, since you are a believer, that a remnant may remain on the earth, and that he may not destroy the whole earth. My son, from heaven all this will come upon the earth, and upon the earth there will be great destruction. After that I arose and prayed and implored and besought, and wrote down my prayer for the generations of the world, and I will show everything to you, my son Methuselah. And when I had gone forth below, and seen the heaven and the sun rising in the east, and the moon setting in the west, and a few stars, and the whole earth, and everything as he had known it in the beginning, then I blessed the Lord of judgment, and extolled him, because he had made the sun to go forth from the windows of the east. And he ascended and rose on the face of the heaven, and set out and kept traversing the path shown unto him. And I lifted up my hands in righteousness, and blessed the Holy and Great One, and spoke with the breath of my mouth, and with the tongue of flesh which God has made, for the children of the flesh of men, that they should speak therewith. And he gave them breath, and a tongue, and a mouth, that they should speak therewith. Blessed be you, O Lord King, great and mighty in your greatness, Lord of the whole creation of the heaven, King of kings, and God of the whole world. And your power and kingship and greatness abide for ever and ever. And throughout all generations your dominion, and all the heavens are your throne for ever, and the whole earth your footstool for ever and ever. For you have made, and you rule all things, and nothing is too hard for you. Wisdom departs not from the place of your throne, nor turns away from your presence. And you know and see and hear everything, and there is nothing hidden from you, for you see everything. And now the angels of your heavens are guilty of trespass, and upon the flesh of men abides your wrath until the great day of judgment. And now, O God and Lord and great King, I implore and beseech you to fulfill my prayer, to leave me a posterity on earth, and not destroy all the flesh of man, and make the earth without inhabitant, so that there should be an eternal destruction. And now, my Lord, destroy from the earth the flesh which has aroused your wrath, but the flesh of righteousness and uprightness establish as a plant of the eternal seed, and hide not your face from the prayer of your servant, O Lord. And after this I saw another dream, and I will show the whole dream to you, my son. And Enoch lifted up and spoke to his son Methuselah. To you, my son, will I speak. Hear my words, incline your ear to the dream vision of your father. Before I took your mother Edna, I saw in a vision on my bed, and behold, a bull came forth from the earth. And that bull was white, and after it came forth a heifer, and along with this came forth 2 bulls, one of them black and the other red. And that black bull gored the red one, and pursued him over the earth. And thereupon I could no longer see that red bull. But that black bull grew, and that heifer went with him. And I saw that many oxen proceeded from him, which resembled and followed him. And that cow, that first one, went from the presence of that first bull in order to seek that red one, but found him not, and grieved with a great sadness over him, and sought him. And I looked till that first bull came to her, and quieted her. And from that time onward she cried no more. And after that she bore another white bull, and after him she bore many bulls and black cows. And I saw in my sleep that white bull likewise grow, and become a great white bull. And from him proceeded many white bulls, and they resembled him. And they began to beget many white bulls, which resembled them, one following the other, many. And again I saw with mine eyes as I slept, and I saw the heaven above, and behold, a star fell from heaven, and it arose and ate and pastured amongst those oxen. And after that I saw the large and the black oxen, and behold, they all changed their stalls and pastures and their cattle, and began to live with each other. And again I saw in the vision, and looked towards the heaven, and behold, I saw many stars descend, and cast themselves down from heaven to that first star. And they became bulls amongst those cattle, and pastured with them amongst them. And I looked at them, and saw, and behold, they all let out their privy members like horses, and began to cover the cows of the oxen, and they all became pregnant, and bare elephants, camels, and asses. And all the oxen feared them, and were afraid of them, and began to bite with their teeth, and to devour, and to gore with their horns. And they began moreover to devour those oxen. And behold, all the children of the earth began to tremble and quake before them, and to flee from them. And again I saw how they began to gore each other, and to devour each other, and the earth began to cry aloud. And I raised my eyes again to heaven, and I saw in the vision, and behold, there came forth from heaven beings who were like white men, and 4 went forth from that place, and 3 with them. And those 3 that had last come forth grasped me by my hand, and took me up away from the generations of the earth, and raised me up to a lofty place, and showed me a tower raised high above the earth, and all the hills were lower. And one said unto me, Remain here till you see everything that befalls those elephants, camels and asses, and the stars and the oxen, and all of them. And I saw one of those 4 who had come forth first, and he seized that first star which had fallen from the heaven, and bound it hand and foot, and cast it into an abyss. Now that abyss was narrow and deep, and horrible and dark. And one of them drew a sword, and gave it to those elephants and camels and asses. Then they began to smite each other, and the whole earth quaked because of them. And as I was beholding in the vision, lo, one of those 4 who had come forth stoned them from heaven, and gathered and took all the great stars, whose privy members were like those of horses, and bound them all hand and foot, and cast them in an abyss of the earth. And one of those 4 went to that white bull, and instructed him in a secret, without his being terrified. He was born a bull, and became a man, and built for himself a great vessel, and dwelt thereon. And 3 bulls dwelt with him in that vessel, and they were covered in. And again I raised my eyes towards heaven, and saw a lofty roof, with 7 water torrents thereon, and those torrents flowed with much water into an enclosure. And I saw again, and behold, fountains were opened on the surface of that great enclosure, and that water began to swell and rise upon the surface, and I saw that enclosure till all its surface was covered with water. And the water, the darkness and mist increased upon it, and as I looked at the height of that water had risen above the height of that enclosure, and was streaming over that enclosure, and it stood upon the earth. And all the cattle of that enclosure were gathered together, until I saw how they sank, and were swallowed up and perished in that water. But that vessel floated on the water, while all the oxen and elephants and camels and asses sank to the bottom with all the animals, so that I could no longer see them, and they were not able to escape, perished, and sank into the depths. And again I saw in the vision till those water torrents were removed from that high roof, and the chasms of the earth were levelled up, and other abysses were opened. Then the water began to run down into these, till the earth became visible, but that vessel settled on the earth, and the darkness retired, and light appeared. And that white bull, which had become a man, came out of that vessel, and the 3 bulls with him, and one of those 3 was white like that bull, and one of them was red as blood, and one black, and that white bull departed from them. And they began to bring forth beasts of the field, and birds, so that there arose different genera, lions, tigers, wolves, dogs, hyenas, wild boars, foxes, squirrels, swine, falcons, vultures, kites, eagles, and ravens, and among them was born a white bull. And they began to bite one another. But that white bull which was born amongst them begat a wild ass and a white bull with it, and the wild asses multiplied. But that bull which was born from him begat a black wild boar and a white sheep. And the former begat many boars, but that sheep begat 12 sheep. And when those 12 sheep had grown, they gave up one of them to the asses, and those asses again gave up that sheep to the wolves, and that sheep grew up among the wolves. And the Lord brought the 11 sheep to live with it, and to pasture with it among the wolves, and they multiplied and became many flocks of sheep. And the wolves began to fear them, and they oppressed them until they destroyed, and cry aloud on account of their little ones, and complain unto their Lord. And a sheep which had been saved from the wolves fled and escaped to the wild asses. And I saw the sheep how grief overtook them, and they cried, and besought their Lord with all their might, till that Lord of the sheep descended at the voice of the sheep from a lofty abode, and came to them, and pastured them. And he called that sheep which had escaped the wolves, and spoke with it concerning the wolves, that it should admonish them not to touch the sheep. And the sheep went to the wolves according to the word of the Lord, and another sheep met it and went with it. And the two went and entered together into the assembly of those wolves, and spoke with them, and admonished them not to touch the sheep from henceforth. And thereupon I saw the wolves, and how they oppressed the sheep exceedingly with all their power, and the sheep cried aloud. And the Lord came to the sheep, and they began to smite those wolves, and the wolves began to grief. But the sheep became quiet, and forthwith ceased to cry out. And I saw the sheep till they departed from amongst the wolves, but the eyes of the wolves were blinded, and those wolves departed in pursuit of the sheep with all their power. And the Lord of the sheep went with them as their leader, and all his sheep followed him. And his face was dazzling and glorious, and terrible to behold. But the wolves began to pursue those sheep till they reached a sea of water. And that sea was divided, and the water stood on this side and on that before their face. And their Lord led them and placed himself between them and the wolves. And as those wolves did not yet see the sheep, they proceeded into the midst of that sea. And the wolves followed the sheep, and those wolves ran after them into that sea. And when they saw the Lord of the sheep, they turned to flee before his face. But that sea gathered itself together, and became as it had been created, and the water swelled and rose till it covered those wolves. And I saw till all the wolves who pursued those sheep perished and were drowned. But the sheep escaped from that water, and went forth into a wilderness, where there was no water and no grass. And they began to open their eyes and to see. And I saw the Lord of the sheep pasturing them, and giving them water and grass, and that sheep going and leading them. And that sheep ascended to the summit of that lofty rock, and the Lord of the sheep sent it to them. And after that I saw the Lord of the sheep, who stood before them, and his appearance was great and terrible and majestic, and all those sheep saw him and were afraid before his face. And they all feared and trembled because of him. And they cried to that sheep with them which was amongst them, We are not able to stand before our Lord, or to behold him. And that sheep which led them again ascended to the summit of that rock. But the sheep began to be blinded, and to wander from the way which he had showed them, but that sheep knew it not. And the Lord of the sheep was wrathful exceedingly against them, and that sheep discovered it, and went down from the summit of the rock, and came to the sheep, and found the greatest part of them blinded and fallen away. And when they saw it, they feared and trembled at its presence, and desired to return to their folds. And that sheep took other sheep with it, and came to those sheep which had fallen away, and began to slay them. And the sheep feared its presence, and thus that sheep brought back those sheep that had fallen away, and they returned to their folds. And I saw in this vision till that sheep became a man, and built a house for the Lord of the sheep, and placed all the sheep in that house. And I saw till this sheep which had met that sheep which led them fell asleep. And I saw till all the great sheep perished, and little ones arose in their place, and they came to a pasture, and approached a stream of water. Then that sheep, their leader, which had become a man, withdrew from them and fell asleep. And all the sheep sought it, and cried over it with a great crying. And I saw till they left off crying for that sheep, and crossed that stream of water, and there arose the two sheep, as leaders in the place of those which had led them and fallen asleep. And I saw till the sheep came to a goodly place, and a pleasant and glorious land. And I saw till those sheep were satisfied, and that house stood amongst them in the pleasant land. And sometimes their eyes were opened, and sometimes blinded, till another sheep arose, and led them, and brought them all back, and their eyes were opened. And the dogs and the foxes and the wild boars began to devour those sheep, till the Lord of the sheep raised up another sheep, a ram from their midst, which led them. And that ram began to butt on either side those dogs, foxes, and wild boars, till he had destroyed them all. And that sheep whose eyes were opened saw that ram, which was amongst the sheep, till it forsook its glory, and began to butt those sheep, and trampled upon them, and behaved itself unseemly. And the Lord of the sheep sent the lamb to another lamb, and raised it to being a ram and leader of the sheep, instead of that ram which had forsaken its glory. And it went to it, and spoke to it alone, and raised it to being a ram, and made it the prince and leader of the sheep. But during all these things those dogs oppressed the sheep. And the first ram pursued that second ram, and that second ram arose and fled before it, and I saw till those dogs pulled down the first ram. And that second ram arose and led the little sheep. And those sheep grew and multiplied, but all the dogs and foxes and wild boars feared and fled before it, and that ram butted and killed the wild beasts. And those wild beasts had no longer any power among the sheep, and robbed them no more of anything. And that ram begat many sheep, and fell asleep, and a little sheep became ram in its stead, and became prince and leader of those sheep, and that house became great and broad, and it was built for those sheep. A tower lofty and great was built on the house for the Lord of the sheep, and that house was low, but the tower was elevated and lofty, and the Lord of the sheep stood on that tower, and they offered a full table before him. And again I saw those sheep, that they again erred and went many ways, and forsook their house. And the Lord of the sheep called some from amongst the sheep, and sent them to the sheep. But the sheep began to slay them. And one of them was saved, and was not slain. And it sped away and cried aloud over the sheep, and they sought to slay it. But the Lord of the sheep saved it from the sheep, and brought it up to me, and caused it to dwell there. And many other sheep he sent to those sheep to testify unto them, and grieved over them. And after that I saw that when they forsook the house of the Lord and his tower, they fell away entirely, and their eyes were blinded. And I saw the Lord of the sheep, how he wrought much slaughter amongst them in their herds, until those sheep invited that slaughter, and betrayed his place. And he gave them over into the hands of the lions and tigers, and wolves and hyenas, and into the hand of the foxes, and to all the wild beasts, and those wild beasts began to tear in pieces those sheep. And I saw that he forsook their house and their tower, and gave them all into the hand of the lions, to tear and devour them, into the hand of all the wild beasts. And I began to cry aloud with all my power, and to appeal to the Lord of the sheep, and to represent to him in regard to the sheep that they were devoured by all the wild beasts. But he remained unmoved, though he saw it, and rejoiced that they were devoured and swallowed and robbed, and left them to be devoured in the hand of all the beasts. And he called 70 shepherds, and cast those sheep to them, that they might pasture them. And he spoke to the shepherds and their companions, Let each individual of you pasture the sheep henceforward, and everything that I shall command you that do you. And I will deliver them over unto you duly numbered, and tell you which of them are to be destroyed, and them destroy you. And he gave over unto them those sheep. And he called another, and spoke unto him, Observe and mark everything that the shepherds will do to those sheep, for they will destroy more of them than I have commanded them. And every excess and the destruction which will be wrought through the shepherds, record how many they destroy according to my command, and how many according to their own caprice. Record against every individual shepherd all the destruction he effects. And read out before me by number how many they destroy, and how many they deliver over for destruction, that I may have this as a testimony against them, and know every deed of the shepherds, that I may comprehend and see what they do, whether or not they abide by my command which I have commanded them. But they shall not know it, and you shall not declare it to them, nor admonish them, but only record against each individual all the destruction which the shepherds effect each in his time, and lay it all before me. And I saw till those shepherds pastured in their season, and they began to slay and to destroy more than they were bidden, and they delivered those sheep into the hand of the lions. And the lions and tigers ate and devoured the greater part of those sheep, and the wild boars ate along with them, and they burnt that tower and demolished that house. And I became exceedingly sorrowful over that tower, because that house of the sheep was demolished. And afterwards I was unable to see if those sheep entered that house. And the shepherds and their associates delivered over those sheep to all the wild beasts to devour them, and each one of them received in his time a definite number. It was written by the other in a book how many each one of them destroyed of them. and each one slew and destroyed many more than was prescribed, and I began to weep and grief on account of those sheep. And thus in the vision I saw that one who wrote, how he wrote down every one that was destroyed by those shepherds day by day, and carried up and laid down, and showed actually the whole book to the Lord of the sheep, everything that they had done, and all that each one of them had made away with, and all that they had given over to destruction. And the book was read before the Lord of the sheep, and he took the book from his hand, and read it, and sealed it, and laid it down. And forthwith I saw how the shepherds pastured for 12 hours, and behold, 3 of those sheep turned back, and came, and entered, and began to build up all that had fallen down of that house. But the wild boars tried to hinder them, but they were not able. And they began again to build as before, and they reared up that tower, and it was named the High Tower, and they began again to place a table before the tower, but all the bread on it was polluted and not pure. And as touching all this, the eyes of those sheep were blinded, so that they saw not, and their shepherds likewise, and they delivered them in large numbers to their shepherds for destruction, and they trampled the sheep with their feet, and devoured them. And the Lord of the sheep remained unmoved, till all the sheep were dispersed over the field, and mingled with them, and they did not save them out of the hand of the beasts. And this one who wrote the book carried it up, and showed it, and read it before the Lord of the sheep, and implored him on their account, and besought him on their account, as he showed him all the doings of the shepherds, and gave testimony before him against all the shepherds. And he took the actual book, and laid it down beside him, and departed. And I saw till that in this manner 35 shepherds undertook the pasturing, and they severally completed their periods, as did the first, and others received them into their hands, to pasture them for their period, each shepherd in his own period. And after that I saw in my vision all the birds of heaven coming, the eagles, the vultures, the kites, the ravens. But the eagles led all the birds, and they began to devour those sheep, and to pick out their eyes, and to devour their flesh. And the sheep cried out, because their flesh was being devoured by the birds. And as for me, I looked and grieved in my sleep over that shepherd who pastured the sheep. And I saw until those sheep were devoured by the dogs and eagles and kites, and they left neither flesh nor skin. Nothing was left remaining of them till only their bones stood there. And their bones too fell to the earth, and the sheep became few. And I saw until that 23 had undertaken the pasturing, and completed in their several periods 58 times. But behold, lambs were born by those white sheep, and they began to open their eyes, and to see, and to cry to the sheep. Yes, they cried to them, but they did not hearken to what they said to them, but were exceedingly deaf, and their eyes were very exceedingly blinded. And I saw in the vision how the ravens flew upon those lambs, and took one of those lambs, and dashed the sheep in pieces, and devoured them. And I saw till horns grew upon those lambs, and the ravens cast down their horns, and I saw till there sprouted a great horn of one of those sheep, and their eyes were opened. And it looked at them, and their eyes opened, and it cried to the sheep, and the rams saw it, and all ran to it. And notwithstanding all this, those eagles and vultures and ravens and kites still kept tearing the sheep and swooping down upon them and devouring them. Still the sheep remained silent, but the rams grieved and cried out. And those ravens fought and battled with it and sought to lay low its horn, but they had no power over it. All the eagles and vultures and ravens and kites were gathered together, and there came with them all the sheep of the field. Yes, they all came together, and helped each other to break that horn of the ram. And I saw till a great sword was given to the sheep, and the sheep proceeded against all the beasts of the field to slay them, and all the beasts and the birds of the heaven fled before their face. And I saw that man who wrote the book according to the command of the Lord, till he opened that book concerning the destruction which those 12 last shepherds had wrought, and showed that they had destroyed much more than their predecessors before the Lord of the sheep. And I saw till the Lord of the sheep came unto them, and took in his hand the staff of his wrath, and smote the earth, and the earth split open, and all the beasts and all the birds of the heaven fell from among those sheep, and were swallowed up in the earth, and it covered them. And I saw till a throne was erected in the pleasant land, and the Lord of the sheep sat himself thereon, and the other took the sealed books, and opened those books before the Lord of the sheep. And the Lord called those men the 7 first white ones, and commanded that they should bring before him, beginning with the first star which led the way, all the stars whose privy members were like those of horses, and they brought them all before him. And he said to that man who wrote before him, being one of those 7 white ones, and said unto him, Take those 70 shepherds to whom I delivered the sheep, and who, taking them on their own authority, slew more than I commanded them. And behold, they were all bound, I saw, and they all stood before him. And the judgment was held first over the stars, and they were judged and found guilty, and went to the place of condemnation, and they were cast into an abyss full of fire and flaming, and full of pillars of fire. And those 70 shepherds were judged and found guilty, and they were cast into that fiery abyss. And I saw at that time how a like abyss was opened in the midst of the earth, full of fire. And they brought those blinded sheep, and they were all judged and found guilty and cast into this fiery abyss, and they burned. Now this abyss was to the right of that house. And I saw those sheep burning, and their bones burning. And I stood up to see till they folded up that old house, and carried off all the pillars. And all the beams and ornaments of the house were at the same time folded up with it, and they carried it off, and laid it in a place in the south of the land. And I saw till the Lord of the sheep brought a new house, greater and loftier than that first, and set it up in the place of the first which had been folded up. All its pillars were new, and its ornaments were new and larger than those of the first, the old one which he had taken away. And all the sheep were within it. And I saw all the sheep which had been left, and all the beasts on the earth, and all the birds of the heaven, falling down and doing homage to those sheep, and making petition to and obeying them in everything. And thereafter those 3 who were clothed in white, and had seized me by my hand, who had taken me up before, and the hand of that ram also seizing hold of me, they took me up and set me down in the midst of those sheep before the judgment took place. And those sheep were all white, and their wool was abundant and clean. And all that had been destroyed and dispersed, and all the beasts of the field, and all the birds of the heaven, assembled in that house, and the Lord of the sheep rejoiced with great joy, because they were all good, and had returned to his house. And I saw till they laid down that sword, which had been given to the sheep, and they brought it back into the house, and it was sealed before the presence of the Lord. And all the sheep were invited into that house, but it held them not. And the eyes of them all were opened, and they saw the good, and there was not one among them that did not see. And I saw that that house was large and broad and very full. And I saw that a white bull was born, with large horns, and all the beasts of the field, and all the birds of the air, feared him, and made petition to him all the time. And I saw till all their generations were transformed, and they all became white bulls, and the first among them became a lamb, and that lamb became a great animal, and had great black horns on its head. And the Lord of the sheep rejoiced over it, and over all the oxen. And I slept in their midst, and I awoke, and saw everything. This is the vision which I saw while I slept, and I awoke, and blessed the Lord of righteousness, and gave him glory. Then I wept with a great weeping, and my tears stayed, not till I could no longer endure it, when I saw they flowed on account of what I had seen. For everything shall come and be fulfilled, and all the deeds of men in their order were shown to me. On that night I remembered the first dream, and because of it I wept and was troubled, because I had seen that vision. Chapter 1. The Guidance of Enoch. And now, my son Methuselah, call all your brothers to me, and gather all the sons of your mother. The word calls me, and the Spirit is poured out on me, so that I may show you everything that will happen to you forever. Then Methuselah went and summoned all his brothers, and gathered his relatives. He spoke to all the children of righteousness, and said, Listen, sons of Enoch, to all the words of your father, and hear the voice of my mouth clearly. For I urge you and say to you, beloved ones, love uprightness, and walk in it. Do not come near uprightness with a double heart. Do not associate with those who are double-hearted, but walk in righteousness, my sons. It will guide you on good paths, and righteousness will be your companion. For I know that violence will increase on the earth, and a great punishment will be carried out on the earth, and all unrighteousness will come to an end. Yes, it will be cut off at the roots, and its whole structure will be destroyed. But unrighteousness will rise again on the earth, and all the deeds of unrighteousness and violence and transgression will increase twofold. When sin and unrighteousness and blasphemy and violence in all kinds of deeds increase, and when rebellion, transgression, and uncleanness increase, a great punishment will come from heaven upon all of these, and the Holy Lord will come forth with wrath and judgment to execute justice on the earth. In those days violence will be cut off at the roots, along with the roots of unrighteousness and deceit, and they will be destroyed from under heaven. All the idols of the nations will be abandoned, their temples burned with fire, and they will be removed from the whole earth. They will be thrown into the judgment of fire, and they will perish in wrath and in severe judgment forever. The righteous will rise from their sleep, and wisdom will rise and be given to them. After that, the roots of unrighteousness will be cut off, sinners will be destroyed by the sword, and blasphemers will be destroyed everywhere. Those who plan violence and those who commit blasphemy will perish by the sword. Now I tell you, my sons, and show you the paths of righteousness and the paths of violence. Yes, I will show them to you again, so that you may know what will come to pass. Now listen to me, my sons. Walk in the paths of righteousness, and do not walk in the paths of violence, for all who walk in the paths of unrighteousness will perish forever. Chapter 2. Wisdom of Enoch. This is the book written by Enoch, who wrote this complete teaching of wisdom, praised among people and a judge for all the earth, for all my children who will live on the earth, and for the future generations who will keep uprightness and peace. Do not let your spirit be troubled because of the times, for the Holy and Great One has appointed days for all things. The righteous one will rise from sleep, will rise and walk in the paths of righteousness, and all his path and conversation will be in eternal goodness and grace. He will be gracious to the righteous and give him eternal uprightness, and he will give him strength so that he will be with goodness and righteousness. He will walk in eternal light. Sin will perish in darkness forever, and will no longer be seen from that day on. After that, Enoch gave and began to recount from the books. Enoch said, "Concerning the children of righteousness, the chosen of the world, and the plant of uprightness, I will speak these things. Yes, I, Enoch, will declare to you, my sons, what appeared to me in a heavenly vision, what I have known through the word of the holy angels, and what I learned from the heavenly tablets." And Enoch began to recount from the books, and said, "I was born the 7th in the 1st week, while judgment and righteousness still endured. After me, in the 2nd week, great wickedness will arise, and deceit will spring up, and in it there will be the first end. In it a man will be saved, and after it ends, unrighteousness will grow, and a law will be made for sinners. After that, in the 3rd week at its close, a man will be chosen as the plant of righteous judgment, and his descendants will become the plant of righteousness forever. After that, in the 4th week at its close, visions of the holy and righteous will be seen, and a law for all generations, and a place of enclosure will be made for them. After that, in the 5th week at its close, the house of glory and dominion will be built forever. After that, in the 6th week, all who live in it will be blinded, and the hearts of all of them will godlessly forsake wisdom. In it a man will ascend, and at its close the house of dominion will be burned with fire, and the whole race from the chosen root will be scattered. After that, in the 7th week, an apostate generation will arise, and many will be its deeds, and all its deeds will be apostate. At its close, the chosen righteous of the eternal plant of righteousness will be selected to receive sevenfold instruction concerning all his creation. For who among all the children of men is able to hear the voice of the Holy One without being troubled? Who can think his thoughts? Who can behold all the works of heaven? How could anyone behold heaven, understand the things of heaven, see a soul or a spirit and explain it, or ascend and see all their ends and comprehend them or act like them? Who among all men could know the breadth and length of the earth, and to whom has the measure of all of it been shown? Is there anyone who could discern the length of the heavens? How great is their height, upon what they are founded? How great is the number of the stars, and where all the lights rest? Now I say to you, my sons, love righteousness and walk in it, for the paths of righteousness are worthy of acceptance, but the paths of unrighteousness will suddenly be destroyed and vanish. To certain men of a generation, the paths of violence and of death will be revealed. They will hold themselves far from them and will not follow them. Now I say to you who are righteous, do not walk in the paths of wickedness or in the paths of death, and do not draw near to them, or you will be destroyed. Seek and choose for yourselves righteousness and an elect life, and walk in the paths of peace, and you will live and prosper. Hold fast my words in the thoughts of your hearts, and do not let them be erased from your hearts, for I know that sinners will tempt people to mistreat wisdom, so that no place is found for her, and no kind of temptation is reduced. Woe to those who build unrighteousness and oppression, and lay deceit as a foundation, for they will be suddenly overthrown, and they will have no peace. Woe to those who build their houses with sin, for their foundations will be overthrown, and by the sword they will fall. Those who acquire gold and silver by unjust judgment will suddenly perish. Woe to you, rich people, for you have trusted in your riches. From your riches you will depart, because you did not remember the Most High in the days of your wealth. You have committed blasphemy and unrighteousness, and are ready for the day of slaughter, the day of darkness, and the day of great judgment. This I speak and declare to you. The one who created you will overthrow you. When you fall, there will be no compassion. Your Creator will rejoice at your destruction. Your righteous ones in those days will be a reproach to sinners and the godless. Oh, that my eyes were a cloud of water, so I could weep over you and pour down my tears like rain, so that I might rest from my heart's trouble. Who has allowed you to practice insults and wickedness? Judgment will therefore overtake you, sinners. Do not fear sinners, you righteous, for again the Lord will deliver them into your hands, so that you may carry out judgment on them as you desire. Woe to you who pronounce curses that cannot be reversed. Healing will be far from you because of your sins. Woe to you who repay your neighbour with evil, for you will be repaid according to your works. Woe to you lying witnesses, and to those who weigh out injustice, for you will suddenly perish. Woe to you, sinners, for you persecute the righteous. You will be handed over and persecuted because of injustice, and its yoke will be heavy on you. Be hopeful, you righteous, for the sinners will suddenly perish before you, and you will have authority over them as you desire. On the day of the tribulation of the sinners, your children will mount up and rise like eagles. Higher than the vultures will be your nest. You will ascend and enter the crevices of the earth and the clefts of the rock forever, like rock rabbits before the unrighteous, and desert creatures will sigh because of you and weep. Therefore do not fear, you who have suffered, for healing will be your portion. A bright light will shine on you, and you will hear the voice of rest from heaven. Woe to you, sinners! For your riches make you appear like the righteous, but your hearts prove you are sinners. This will stand as a testimony against you, a record of evil deeds. Woe to you who devour the finest wheat and drink wine in large bowls, and trample the lowly with your power. Woe to you who drink water from every fountain, for you will suddenly be consumed and wither away, because you have forsaken the fountain of life. Woe to you who work unrighteousness and deceit and blasphemy. It will be remembered against you for evil. Woe to you, mighty ones, who with force oppress the righteous, for the day of your destruction is coming. In those days many good days will come to the righteous on the day of your judgment. Chapter 3. Wisdom of Enoch. Believe, you righteous, that the sinners will become a shame, and will perish in the day of unrighteousness. Know that the Most High remembers your destruction, and the angels of heaven rejoice over the downfall of the wicked. What will you do, sinners, and where will you flee on that day of judgment when you hear the voice of the prayer of the righteous? You will fare like those against whom this word becomes a testimony. You were companions of sinners. In those days the prayer of the righteous will reach the Lord, and for you the days of your judgment will come. All the words of your unrighteousness will be read out before the great Holy One. Your faces will be covered with shame, and he will reject every work grounded in unrighteousness. Woe to you, sinners, who live on the open ocean and on the dry land, whose memory is evil against you. Woe to you who acquire silver and gold in unrighteousness, and say, "We have become rich, we have possessions, and have gotten everything we desired. Now let us do what we planned. We have gathered silver, many workers are in our houses, and our granaries are as full as if filled with water." Like water, your lies will flow away. Your riches will not remain, but will quickly leave you, for you acquired all of it in unrighteousness, and you will be given over to a great curse. Now I swear to you, to the wise and to the foolish, for you will have many experiences on the earth. Men will put on more adornments than a woman, and coloured garments more than a young bride. In royalty, grandeur, power, silver, gold, purple, splendour, and food, they will be poured out like water. Therefore they will lack sound teaching and wisdom, and they will perish because of it, together with their possessions. With all their glory and splendour, in shame, slaughter, and great poverty, their spirits will be thrown into the furnace of fire. I have sworn to you, sinners. Just as a mountain does not become a slave, and a hill does not become the handmaid of a woman, so sin was not sent upon the earth, but man created it by himself, and those who commit it will fall under a great curse. Barrenness was not given to the woman, but because of the deeds of her own hands she dies without children. I have sworn to you, sinners, by the Holy Great One, that all your evil deeds are revealed in the heavens, and none of your acts of oppression are covered or hidden. Do not think in your spirit or say in your heart that you do not know or do not see that every sin is recorded in heaven every day before the Most High. From now on you know that all your oppression with which you oppress is written down every day until the day of your judgment. Woe to you, fools, for through your folly you will perish. You transgress against the wise, therefore good fortune will not be your portion. Know that you are prepared for the day of destruction. Do not hope to live, you sinners, but you will depart and die, for you know no ransom. You are prepared for the day of great judgment, the day of tribulation and great shame for your spirits. Woe to you, stubborn of heart, who do wickedness and eat blood. From where do you have good things to eat and drink, and to be filled? From all the good things that the Lord Most High has placed in abundance on the earth. Therefore you will have no peace. Woe to you who love the deeds of unrighteousness. Why do you hope for good for yourselves? Know that you will be delivered into the hands of the righteous. They will cut off your necks and kill you, and will have no mercy on you. Woe to you who rejoice in the troubles of the righteous, for no grave will be dug for you. Woe to you who make nothing of the words of the righteous, for you will have no hope of life. Woe to you who write down lying and godless words, for you write your lies so that people may hear them and act godlessly toward their neighbours. Therefore you will have no peace, but will die a sudden death. Woe to you who work godlessness and glory in lying and praise it. You will perish, and no happy life will be yours. Woe to those who twist the words of uprightness, break the eternal law, and turn themselves into what they were not, into sinners. They will be trampled underfoot on the earth. In those days get ready, you righteous, to raise your prayers as a memorial, and place them as a testimony before the angels, so that they may place the sins of the sinners as a memorial before the Most High. In those days the nations will be stirred up, and the families of the nations will arise on the day of destruction. The destitute will go out and carry off their children, and they will abandon them, so their children will perish through them. Yes, they will abandon their nursing children and not return to them, and will have no pity on their beloved ones. Again I swear to you, sinners, that sin is prepared for a day of unending bloodshed. Those who worship stones and carved images of gold, silver, wood, and clay, and those who worship impure spirits and demons and all kinds of idols without knowledge, will get no help from them. They will become godless because of the foolishness of their hearts. Their eyes will be blinded through fear in their hearts and through visions in their dreams. Through these they will become godless and fearful, for they have done all their work in a lie and have worshipped a stone. Therefore, in an instant they will perish. But in those days blessed are all who accept the words of wisdom Understand them, keep the paths of the Most High, and walk in the path of his righteousness, and do not become godless with the godless, for they will be saved. Woe to you who spread evil to your neighbours, for you will be slain in realm of the dead. Woe to you who make deceitful and false measures, and cause bitterness on the earth, for you will be completely consumed by them. Woe to you who build your houses through the hard, unjust toil of others, with building materials that are the bricks and stones of sin. I tell you, you will have no peace. Woe to those who reject the measure and eternal inheritance of their fathers, and whose souls follow after idols, for they will have no rest. Woe to those who work unrighteousness and help oppression and kill their neighbours until the day of the great judgment, for he will cast down your glory and bring affliction on your hearts. He will arouse his fierce indignation and destroy you all with the sword, and all the holy and righteous will remember your sins. In those days, in one place, fathers together with their sons will be struck down, and brothers with one another will fall in death until the streams flow with their blood. A man will not withhold his hand from killing his sons and his sons' sons, and the sinner will not withhold his hand from his honoured brother. From dawn until sunset they will kill one another. The horse will walk up to its breast in the blood of sinners, and the chariot will be submerged up to its height. In those days the angels will descend into the secret places and gather into one place all those who brought down sin. The Most High will arise on that day of judgment to execute great judgment among sinners. Over all the righteous and holy he will appoint guardians from among the holy angels, to guard them as the apple of his eye, until he makes an end of all wickedness and all sin. Though the righteous sleep a long sleep, they have nothing to fear. The children of the earth will see the wise in safety, and will understand all the words of this book, and will recognize that their riches cannot save them when their sins are overthrown. Woe to you, sinners, on the day of strong distress, you who afflict the righteous and burn them with fire. You will be repaid according to your works. Woe to you, stubborn of heart, who keep watch to plan wickedness. Fear will come upon you, and there will be no one to help you. Woe to you, sinners, because of the words of your mouth and the deeds of your hands that your godlessness has produced. You will burn in blazing flames hotter than fire. Now know that from the angels he will inquire about your deeds in heaven, and from the sun and the moon and the stars regarding your sins, because on the earth you pass judgment on the righteous. He will summon every cloud and mist and dew and rain to testify against you, for they will all be withheld from descending on you, and they will remember your sins. Now give gifts to the rain, so it will not be withheld from falling on you, nor the dew, when it has received gold and silver from you, that it may descend. When the frost and the snow with their chill, and all the snowstorms with all their plagues fall upon you, in those days you will not be able to stand before them. Chapter 4. Wisdom of Enoch. Observe the heavens, children of heaven, and every work of the Most High. Fear him and do no evil in his presence. If he closes the windows of heaven and withholds the rain and the dew from descending on the earth because of you, what will you do then? If he sends his anger on you because of your deeds, you cannot petition him, for you spoke proud and arrogant words against his righteousness. Therefore you will have no peace. Do you not see the sailors, how their ships are tossed by the waves, shaken by the winds, and plunged into great trouble? They are afraid because all their fine goods go into the sea with them, and they dread that the sea will swallow them, and they will perish in it. Is not the entire sea, and all its waters, and all its movements, the work of the Most High? Has he not set limits to its actions, and confined it everywhere by the sand? At his rebuke it is afraid and dries up, and all its fish die, and everything in it. But you sinners on the earth, do not fear him. Has he not made the heavens and the earth and everything in them? Who has given understanding and wisdom to everything that moves on the earth and in the sea? Do not the sailors fear the sea? Yet sinners do not fear the Most High. In those days, when he brings a grievous fire upon you, where will you flee, and where will you find deliverance? When he sends forth his word against you, will you not be terrified and afraid? All the lights of heaven will be terrified with great fear, and all the earth will be alarmed and tremble. All the angels will carry out their commands and will seek to hide themselves from the presence of the great glory. The children of earth will tremble and quake. You sinners will be cursed forever and will have no peace. Do not fear, you souls of the righteous, but be hopeful, you who have died in righteousness. Do not grieve if your soul has descended into realm of the dead in sorrow, if in life your body did not fare according to your goodness. Wait for the day of the judgment of sinners, for the day of cursing and punishment. Yet when you die, the sinners speak over you. As we die, so the righteous die. What benefit do they gain from their deeds? Look, they die in grief and darkness as we do. What do they have more than we have? From now on we are equal. What will they receive, and what will they see forever? Look, they too have died, and from now on they will never see light. I tell you, sinners, you are content to eat and drink, to rob and sin, to strip people naked, to acquire wealth, and to see good days. Have you seen the righteous, how their end comes, that no violence is found in them until their death? Nevertheless they died, and became as though they had not been, and their spirits descended into realm of the dead in trouble. Chapter 6. Revelation of Enoch. I swear to you that in heaven the angels remember you for good before the glory of the Great One, and your names are written before his glory. Be hopeful, for in the past you were put to shame through suffering and affliction, but now you will shine like the lights of heaven. You will shine and be seen, and the gates of heaven will be opened to you. In your cry for justice, and it will appear to you. All your suffering will be visited upon the rulers, and upon all who help those who plundered you. Be hopeful and do not cast away your hope, for you will have great joy like the angels of heaven. What will you need to do? You will not have to hide on the day of great judgment, and you will not be found among the sinners. The eternal judgment will be far from you for all generations of the world. Now do not fear, you righteous ones, when you see sinners growing strong and prospering in their ways. Do not be companions with them, but stay far from their violence, for you will become companions of the hosts of heaven. Even though the sinners say, "All our sins will not be searched out or written down," nevertheless they will write down all your sins every day. I show you that light and darkness, day and night, see all your sins. Do not be godless in your hearts, do not lie or alter the words of truth, and do not accuse the Holy Great One of lying. Do not rely on idols, for all your lies and godlessness do not produce righteousness, but great sin. Now I know this mystery. Sinners will alter and corrupt the words of righteousness in many ways. They will speak wicked words, lie, practice great deceit, and write books filled with their falsehoods. But when people write down all my words truthfully in their own languages, and do not change or diminish anything from them, but record everything exactly as I first testified concerning them, then I know another mystery will come to pass. Books will be given to the righteous and the wise, becoming a source of joy, uprightness, and great wisdom. These books will be given to them, and they will believe in them and rejoice over them. All the righteous who learn from them the paths of uprightness will be rewarded. In those days the Lord commanded to summon and testify to the children of earth concerning their wisdom, saying, "Show it to them, for you are their guides and a blessing over the whole earth." For I and my Son will be united with them forever in the paths of uprightness in their lives, and you will have peace. Rejoice, children of righteousness. This is another book that Enoch wrote for his son Methuselah, and for those who will come after him and keep the law in the last days. You who have done good, wait for those days until an end is made of those who do evil, and an end of the strength of the transgressors. Wait until sin has passed away, for their names will be blotted out of the book of life and out of the holy books. Their descendants will be destroyed forever, and their spirits will be slain. They will cry and weep in a place that is a chaotic wilderness, and they will burn in the fire, for there is no earth there. I saw something like an invisible cloud. Because of its depth, I could not see across it. I saw a blazing flame of fire, and things like shining mountains circling and sweeping back and forth. I asked one of the holy angels who was with me, and said to him, "What is this shining thing?" "It is not a heaven, but only a blazing fire, and I hear the voice of weeping and crying and loud pain." He said to me, "This place that you see, here are cast the spirits of sinners and blasphemers, and those who do wickedness, and those who twist everything the Lord has spoken through the prophets, the things that will be. Some of them are written and inscribed above in heaven, so the angels may read them and know what will befall the sinners. and so they may know about the spirits of the humble and of those who afflicted their bodies and were repaid by God, and of those who were put to shame by wicked people, who loved God and loved neither gold nor silver nor any of the good things in the world, but surrendered their bodies to torture. From the time they came into being, they did not long after earthly food, but regarded everything as a passing breath, and lived accordingly. The Lord tested them greatly, and their spirits were found pure, so that they should bless his name. All the blessings destined for them I have recounted in the books. He has assigned them their reward, because they were found to be people who loved heaven more than their life in the world. Though they were trampled underfoot by wicked people and suffered abuse and insults from them and were put to shame, yet they blessed me. Now I will summon the spirits of the good who belong to the generation of light, and I will transform those who were born in darkness, who in the flesh were not repaid with the honour their faithfulness deserved. I will bring into shining light those who have loved my holy name, and I will seat each one on the throne of his honour. They will shine for times without number, for righteousness is the judgment of God. To the faithful he will give faithfulness in the dwelling of upright paths. They will see those who were born in darkness led into darkness, while the righteous will shine. The sinners will cry out when they see them shining, and they will go to the place where days and seasons are appointed for them. Chapter 6. Revelation of Enoch. In those days the Lord commanded to summon and testify to the children of earth concerning their wisdom, saying, "Show it to them, for you are their guides, and a blessing over the whole earth. For I and my Son will be united with them forever in the paths of uprightness in their lives, and you will have peace. Rejoice, children of righteousness. I swear to you that in heaven the angels remember you for good before the glory of the Great One, and your names are written before his glory. Be hopeful, for in the past you were put to shame through suffering and affliction, but now you will shine like the lights of heaven. You will shine and be seen, and the gates of heaven will be open to you. In your cry for justice, and it will appear to you. All your suffering will be visited upon the rulers and upon all who helped those who plundered you. Be hopeful and do not cast away your hope, for you will have great joy like the angels of heaven. What will you need to do? You will not have to hide on the day of great judgment, and you will not be found among the sinners. The eternal judgment will be far from you for all generations of the world. Now do not fear, you righteous ones, when you see sinners growing strong and prospering in their ways. Do not be companions with them, but stay far from their violence, for you will become companions of the hosts of heaven. Even though the sinners say, "All our sins will not be searched out or written down," nevertheless they will write down all your sins every day. I show you that light and darkness, day and night, see all your sins. Now I know this mystery. Sinners will alter and corrupt the words of righteousness in many ways. They will speak wicked words, lie, practice great deceit, and write books filled with their falsehoods. But when people write down all my words truthfully in their own languages, and do not change or diminish anything from them, but record everything exactly as I first testified concerning them, then I know another mystery will come to pass. Books will be given to the righteous and the wise, becoming a source of joy, uprightness, and great wisdom. These books will be given to them, and they will believe in them and rejoice over them. All the righteous who learn from them the paths of uprightness will be rewarded. In those days the Lord commanded to summon and testify to the children of earth concerning their wisdom, saying, "Show it to them, for you are their guides and a blessing over the whole earth. For I and my Son will be united with them forever in the paths of uprightness in their lives, and you will have peace. Rejoice, children of righteousness." This concludes the Book of Enoch. Thank you for listening.